turd got stuck in my asshole. Oh my stars. Oh my stars. I am Manhattan Posh. Watch me get really sloshed. Wearing wigs that I never washed. Fuck you. Suck your Logic is spelled with an A. Ask Fallon, she says nay. I interviewed Reverend Shan, remember? Jason sent me a pic of his member. The turd got stuck in my asshole. Oh my stars. Oh my stars. Oh my stars. Oh my stars.
What's up, homies? How you guys doing? It's cum time. Everybody ready for some cum? Everybody ready to come and be cum? You know you used to be cum. You were once cum. Did you know that? Did you ever think about it like that? You were once cum. At least half of you was. You know what I mean? Because sperm and your dad. Cum. You were cum. Don't be ashamed. Don't be shy. You were cum. Don't it's not. Yeah, it's gross, but it's part of life. You're a cummy. We're all cummies. You're a cummy. I'm a cummy. You were hatched? Well, somebody still came on your egg. If you're like a salmon. Blocking me? That's it? That's how it goes? Okay. You guys remember that Magic School Bus episode where the Magic School Bus episode where the kids are cummed on by fish? Do you remember that shit? That was fucking weird. Like, bro, like this Magic School Bus, why are they being come on by fish? That was a real episode. That was a real actual episode. Because they're learning about salmon. Yeah. Yeah, they were like in unfertilized eggs, and then like the salmon came and like jizzed all over the eggs, and then they became fertilized and became salmon. It's like this is nightmarish. I remember seeing that as a kid and being like, what the fuck? It made me feel very gross. I don't even think I understood what sex was at the time. Yeah, yeah. Magic School Bus got shit out. No, it never got shat out. Never got shat out. I remember that episode. They explicitly avoided that. They were about to get shit out. They showed poop. They showed poop inside of Arnold's body, but they never left the butt. They went back up and left his mouth. I had that episode on VHS. Somebody fucking gave that to me. VHS. Now you like this. You like this kind of shit. Literally. Here's the Magic School Bus. Otherwise, it was a solid show. You know what I mean? Other than that poop episode and the salmon jizz episode. Like that salmon episode came on, I would turn it off. Change the channel. Hated that episode. It's gross. The kids looked all mutated, like after they were fertilized. You had that one too. There's that one, and I had the bat one, where they like become bats to learn about like echolocation or whatever.
You want to learn about
What
China
up?
or whatever. That poop. What's
Bat
that
poop?
called? Guano? What?
Guano. Guano.
I don't
Yeah.
know. That poop?
Bat poop.
I don't
Guano.
know. I wanted to come in and tell you because I I was thinking about you on Michelle's earlier. So Gidgy asked Michelle if she like the backdoor entertainment. You know what I mean? The butt, the
Oh,
booty.
did G ask Michelle that?
Yes. And
That's a
Michelle said, "I'm not into scat." And yeah, that was the best thing I had heard all day.
yeah. I don't know much about Gigi. I know the name, but I don't know who that is. But that's
Gidgy is a like a Lol Cow Live creator. She's super funny. It was to switch Michelle off of the money topic, and she went from money to that.
great. It's a good transition right there. Money to poop. Doo doo cacas.
Oh, and then I was Gidgy was like, "Well, I've never tried it before," and I was like, "Try poppers. You know, we get crazy. Don't try. Don't do that."
Speaking of VHS, you'd use what was it? Amyl nitrite. That's what was used to clean VCRs. But if you ingested it, it would loosen you up, so to speak. So like people that were into butt stuff would eat or drink VCR cleaner. It was like a thing.
To relax the butthole.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Now that VCRs aren't as common, I don't know what people do anymore. Just get a lot of Astroglide, I guess. Hope for the
I'm
best.
telling you, poppers, bro. I've had a gay man suggest poppers to me. I was like, no, that's for you. Those are your products.
Brittany said, "Come in." Oh, that's funny. Yeah, as cummies. Today's theme is cummies. I don't know why. I invented cummies. Like 6 months ago. Everyone's like, "Oh, cummies!" Haha. I said it first. Me, wafters. I said cummies first. I don't. Do you remember that? You were on stream.
I'm counting quarters right now, okay? Give me 1 second. 17, 18,
Let me.
19, $20
I gotta.
in quarters.
I gotta sign into the actual chat here so I can interact with you guys. So for whatever reason, Streamlabs is wonky about it. So I have to do it through the browser. Because I wanted to put up a poll and ask you, like the stream. Did you like the Hummies stream? And then the answers are yes and no. So, decide where you stand there. And then set a goal. Uh,
Michelle hit her goal to show her fridge today. She showed her fridge and freezer.
oh,
Double feature.
uh, my goal will be to show cum. I'm just kidding. I'm not doing
Oh, you're
it.
just going buck wild today.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the goal, if we reach the goal, we'll learn about cummies.
You know, I think it's kind of crazy that salmon go back to like their origin spots and come and die. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is weird.
Like they're willed back to the spot where they were born. That's insane.
Oh my God, it wouldn't let me write cummies properly, so I had to spell it differently. Yeah, it is weird that they go back to where they came from. There's got to be some kind of evolutionary advantage to being able to do that. Like just reproduce the conditions in which they reproduce to keep it constant. But then also they have like so many predators on the way, like bears and shit, just waiting for them. Like bears, no, they'll just wait. They'll just wait by like a waterfall, just catch them midair. You guys ever see footage of that? Or you have? Like I saw there was like a movie. It was narrated by John C. Riley. Actually, it was like a documentary about bears, and they're eating salmon. And I was the whole time I'm like, I'm hungry for salmon.
Salmon's fucking delicious.
Yeah, it is, dude. You get like a big fillet of salmon, and you put butter on it, some dill, some lemon slices,
Oh,
a little
ooh, okay.
salt.
This is my new salmon go-to. You can judge me all you want, but it's hot honey. Like you can do Mike's hot honey if you really want, whatever type of hot honey. And then I do Thai, and that's like that lemon lime seasoning. Put that all, yummy, delicious.
Hot honey. I've had hot honey on pepperoni pizza. That was good. I didn't know what to expect, but that that was delicious. My other go-to was back in the day was garlic butter on pizza. Like dip your pizza in garlic butter, but like you can't do that after a certain.
Sriracha on pizza. Oh,
Ooh,
so good.
Tabasco. I'll put Tabasco sauce.
Boo, Tabasco.
I love Tabasco sauce. I love anything spicy. Any kind of zing.
Are you a super taster? Do you know?
A super taster? What's a super taster?
Yeah. So super tasters are just people typically that it's like a genetic trait or whatever. Um, a lot of people that if cilantro tastes like soap to you, you're a super taster. I'm trying to think of the other one that.
No, cilantro. I love cilantro. It does not taste like soap to me. Not at all.
But that's like a gene passed down,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah. I have a buddy that has that. I'm like, damn. I was like, what about parsley? And he's like, oh, I like parsley. I'm like, well, cilantro's kind of like parsley.
I
So there's,
guess parsley really doesn't have a taste over fucking cilantro.
to me, it does. Maybe that's my thing. Parsley tastes extra good. I got the opposite gene.
I love parsley.
Parsley and dill. I love dill. I put dill on popcorn, like butter popcorn. Sprinkle some dill on it. I recommend it. That and a little onion powder and garlic powder on your popcorn too, with the dill.
Dude, I'm so mad about my hydroponics because, like, I've had it for years, right? This year, everything just like the pump stopped working,
Oh shit.
so I can't even grow herbs up in my house. And like, I've been doing that for like 3 or 4 years now, and this year, no dill, no nothing. I got to figure out how to fix it. Pretty depressing.
That sucks. Yeah, so it's just a mechanical
'Cause
problem.
a you could have an infinite dill hack with the hydroponic.
Yeah.
You just cut it down, and it just doesn't stop.
Oh yeah. No, we have a huge dill plant right now. I can see it out of my window in our garden.
Ooh, it's gotta smell good. That's gotta be cool.
Yeah.
I just
It's
don't have outdoor space.
sure. Uh, yeah, we got two well, actually three garden beds if you want to count it that way. And then yeah, it's just filled with herbs and we're growing watermelon too. We got seven
Um,
watermelons. Seven are
y'all
grown.
do salsa at all?
No.
I feel like y'all could make a mean salsa.
Oh, salsa. I thought you were saying sulfur. Like people use that? Yeah, salsa, absolutely. Yeah. I just misunderstood. Like, do people put sulfur in their gardens? I've not heard of that. That would make it smell like farts. Tastes like earthy soap to you? Yeah,
Yep.
that sucks. You have that too, Brittany?
Yep.
That damn. Well, if you didn't have that, cilantro tastes a lot like parsley. So very similar taste.
But I
So,
still like cilantro, even though it does taste soapy. But like, I'm not like, oh, give me a bunch of cilantro, right? Like, I like it in rice. I like it in a dish.
oh,
But if somebody's like, well, here's just a bunch of cilantro, I'd be like, I don't want this. No,
oh,
thank
okay.
you.
So it tastes good when it's like in stuff, but then,
I mean, it'll just have a hint of soap taste.
huh? Yeah, try popcorn with dill. I make it. I that If I make popcorn at home, like homemade popcorn with my skillet, I'll dress it up with all kinds of stuff. Dill's almost always an ingredient.
I'm watching
Eat
the news right now, and war's going on. You got
war,
war updates. Yep,
war
U.S. and
updates.
Iran are escalating their attacks.
Great. I'll have to get the Grim Reaper
Yay!
over here.
Can't wait.
Maybe we'll have the Deathcast Part 2. Deathcast Part 2. You guys check out the Deathcast from a couple months
A
ago?
couple months ago, it was cool. Death came. It
Yeah.
was scary.
Yeah, I thought about inviting him over for this one. But I wanted to keep it a little light in the beginning at least. You got the cilantro
What are we
tastes like
talking
soap.
about?
Oh, I wanted to talk a little bit about politics actually.
Oh hell yeah!
You guys ready for this one? This is some crazy shit happening. I wanted to talk about this sooner, but real life kind of has a way of stopping you from doing this shit. You guys see this guy?
Can you
Timu.
share your
Distinguished
screen
leaders and
with me?
guests.
Oh yeah, yeah. I could do that. This guy, he goes by Timu Goebbels. You may have heard of him. His name's Stephen Miller.
Cheating Goebbels. No, I. So I'm. So I've been hearing through the grapevine that on Michelle's political show that Leo might not show up, but I want Leo to show up because I want to have like a crazy. I saw your discussion in the group chat about these videos,
Oh
and I
yeah,
was like, oh, it's going down. And then I don't know.
yeah. Well, we'll
We'll
see.
see tomorrow. It's Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Michelle's political roundtable.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great, great old time. Great old time. Let's see. Got ministerial on the resurgence of political terrorism. You guys ready for this? You guys see this shit?
Oh,
You guys seen this? You seen this, Brittany?
I saw a clip of it on Twitter of him ranting and raving and being like, the left is uh, threatening our democracy and it can't be accepted.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, you guys, you guys ready to be rounded up into camps? That's that's the direction things are going in. Like, not gonna lie. Like, people, joked about this. Joke. People worried about this, some time ago, but it was less serious. But now it's looking like it's a little more serious. Let's see what Timu Goebbels has to say. A lot of
It's good to see so many familiar faces. And thank you, of course, to Secretary of State Rubio for organizing this conference and for leading this initiative.
this guy always looks like he's
Here
gonna
in the
fall
United
fucking
States,
asleep.
we have taken the necessary and essential action of formally recognizing left-wing violence as a form of political terrorism that is a direct threat to our national security
Yeah, here's the thing: political violence of any kind is typically called terrorism, right? So why is this an exception? Is it because they're your political opponents for the next election? Hmm. Hmm.
and the survival of our Republican form of government.
Survival of our Republican form of government. I mean, he's giving the game away here.
President Trump issued a directive in our parlance. It's called a National Security Presidential Memorandum, or NSPM. NSPM 7, to be exact.
Have you guys read NSPM 7? I have. We'll crack it open after this. You guys can we can read it together.
That directs for the first time
Isn't that
in
just
American
the anti-terrorism counter whatever the fuck bullshit
It outlines
that they released?
who is a potential terrorist, and it's basically anyone who isn't MAGA.
Anyone who's trans, an anarchist. What was it? Antifa.
Yeah, yeah.
history, all of our law enforcement and intelligence agencies to work together to disrupt, identify, defund, debank.
Debank. You guys ready to be debanked? One day you just won't be able to access your money. Is that going to be great?
Hey, they did it to
arrest,
Josh Moon. They'll do it to you.
Yeah.
and prosecute these political terrorists that are operating in our country. It's very important to understand that left-wing political terrorism seeks as its ultimate end the overthrow of our system and form of government. And we've seen this has taken place many times in many places throughout the years, and Secretary Rubio has provided you many examples. Left-wing terrorism always ends in bloodshed, misery.
All terrorism ends in bloodshed, you dummy. That's what it is. What? Terrorism always ends in bloodshed. All kinds. It's not just left-wing terrorism that ends in bloodshed. All kinds.
And it's funny to bring this up when mostly it's a domestic terrorist problem, right? And it's mostly committed by conservative white men. Oh,
Yep.
yes.
Right. Yeah. What was the last left-wing terrorist attack of any significance, right? Well, they're gonna say things like the George Floyd protests, stuff like that. They'll just call it that. Be like, oh, so many windows were broken and stuff. But there's literally footage of people breaking the windows, and you know who it was? Do you know who was breaking the windows? Police. It was the police doing it. There's literally video footage of them doing that. People seem to forget.
And suffering. It only can travel in one direction. There's no point at which the left-wing terrorist is satisfied with his gains and ceases progressing. Inevitably, left to run its course, it always becomes a gulag. It always becomes the mass imprisonment of political enemies, the stripping of their rights and freedoms, inflicting immense pain, humiliation, suffering.
I mean, this is just projection here. This is what he wants to do to you. This is what Timu Goebbels wants to do to you.
Dude, look at the light is out of his eyes.
Dude,
He's
yeah.
like, I want to
Dude,
kill people in mass.
he's fully erect right now. Like that's what's happening with this guy. All the blood is drained from his head.
In order to establish complete and total control. Control through psychological and physical and actual terror. And we have to understand that that is the scope and the extent of the threat that we face. And as Secretary Rubio also pointed
Where? Where? Like,
Yeah, see, this is what I don't understand is when they talk about like we're facing constant threats. And it's like, there's not a fucking left militia walking around or Gestapo or whatever the fuck you're trying to propose here, pushing anybody around.
Right. It's ICE, which
Yeah.
is the equivalent of the Gestapo at this point. And then you've got groups like Patriot Front and whatever the fuck going around wearing masks, marching around looking like the Klan 2.0. Like,
Here's my genuine question. Thomas Jefferson proposed at one point, if the Constitution and our government did not serve us anymore, that there's basically a clause within our governmental system that the people could uprise. But are they saying that's null and void and that the American people aren't endowed to that right? Or am I just mistaken here? Or am I lost? I don't know.
oh, rights don't exist anymore. That's what this is. Basically, rights just don't exist anymore. Yeah, Trump has pardoned right-wing terrorists. Yeah, yeah, yeah. At the very least, insurrectionists. Like if
Yeah,
you didn't,
domestic terrorists that wanted to fucking fix a fucking election by running around and stomping around and getting shot at. Oh,
yeah,
pretty
I
cool.
would call them terrorists, but people on that side wouldn't. But after that happened, after January 6th happened, if you tuned in to Fox News and shit, they were like, "Oh, we're not on Trump's side anymore." Like that, literally, that's what happened. But they forgot. They've warmed up to it now. Like that's what happens. Let's watch more of this
It
TV
out. This is an
Turtles.
international network. Antifa, as an example, operates in dozens of countries all throughout the world. They share common networks of funding.
Antifa isn't funded. Do you want to know how? Do you want to know how to join Antifa? You want to know how to be part of Antifa? Do you like fascists? Are you a fan of fascism? No? You don't like fascism? You hate it? Congrats, you're Antifa.
Organization and information sharing. And so all of our intelligence agencies and law enforcement entities should be collaborating and coordinating and working together in order to root out these organizations. One of the hallmarks of left-wing violence and terrorism is its completely pretextual and disingenuous appeal to civil liberties in an effort to shield its own violence.
You see that? All these people talking about civil liberties. Let's hear that again. Let's hear that again. That's an interesting little caveat here.
Its completely pretextual and disingenuous appeal to civil liberties in an effort to shield its own violence.
Oh, you fighting for civil liberties? You don't like ICE? So you're gonna fight back against ICE? You're a terrorist.
This is the tactic that the left always uses to try to protect itself from facing criminal punishment.
Oh, you don't like this? You don't like us violating your rights? Well, you're a criminal. You don't like us violating other people's rights? You're a criminal. This is what he's saying. Read between the lines.
It is essential that we are wise enough and strong enough to understand that these appeals must fall on deaf ears.
Don't listen. Don't listen to anyone talking about rights. You don't have rights. You don't have rights. Yeah, cancel culture. Yeah, you're gonna get canceled by getting thrown in a pit. That's what's gonna happen to us.
When the leftists who does not believe in freedom, who does not believe in civil rights, who does not believe in any order.
But the leftists who
You don't believe in civil rights. But pause.
yeah, the leftist who doesn't believe in civil rights, where? That's what the whole thing is. Yeah, if you fought in World War II against the Nazis, you're Antifa. Hey, your grandpa that brought back a trophy, like a Nazi trophy, like a uniform or whatever. Like they're Antifa, literally. Yeah, trying to blur the lines so that you can use soldiers against civilians. Yeah, yep. So far, soldiers can only protect federal buildings. They want to use them to police citizens. Yeah, yeah. That's what this is all about. This is warming up people to this. Just how Democrats call anyone right of center a Nazi? No, no. What are you on, 303 HSS? I've never seen you before. Who the fuck are you? So they just who's being violent against people on the right? Who? Show me. Oh, what? Some guy wearing a swastika got decked? Good. I don't give a shit. So what? Wearing a swastika is the equivalent of fighting words. You get decked, it's your fucking fault. Don't wear a swastika.
Notion of justice, protest that we are violating his rights, understand that he is lying to try to persuade people who are not closely following the political scene that some injustice has been perpetrated against him. We must stay the course and be completely unflinching in the pursuit of justice against these enemies of civilization. If the left is allowed to use the real or actual threat of violence to
Yeah, yeah. What violence? The left are snowflakes. Right, right. Yeah, yeah. So this is a Nazi tactic, quite literally, where the enemy is both weak and strong. You pay attention to when they talk about the left or the enemy. They're both weak and strong, right? Yeah, no, fascists deserve to get decked. Yeah, I agree 100%. That's not to say conservatives in general. No. No, somebody's like, I don't know, they just happen to vote for, I don't know, George Bush the first term or something because they just liked the policies or whatever. Like someone of that level, that no, they don't deserve to get decked, in my opinion, not at all. But someone who's like, yeah, we need the Fourth Reich. Absolutely. Well, the paradox of tolerance isn't even a paradox. It's solved very easily, right? The solution to the paradox of tolerance is to acknowledge certain garb and words as fighting words. Okay? Someone's wearing a swastika, they're telling you, I want to kill you. That's what they're saying. Someone threatens your life, I think you're allowed to at least punch them.
stabilize our institutions, then those institutions cannot and will not succeed. So here in the United States, for example, we saw in the recent past clear threats of violence against our Supreme Court to try to shape how they rule on upcoming decisions.
Yeah. From the president? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
The leftist does this with the full desire, intent, and understanding that the threat of violence against a public figure or their family is meant to cow them into behaving or acting or conducting them.
Weak in nature, strong in institutional power. What institutional power? What the fuck are you talking about? I mean, you're saying Nazi kind of stuff, so that's one thing that Nazis like to do, neo-Nazis like to do, is be like, you just want to call me a Nazi because you disagree with me. Meanwhile, you check their profile and it's like, it's either nothing or like SS symbols or like the eagle from the Nazi flag. It's almost always. I mean, look at it. I mean, there's SS in the name. You guys want to talk about dog whistles? Fuck. Should I ban you? I'm gonna ban you. Hold on a second. Hmm. Not do it from there. I gotta do it from here. Uh, let's go. Hide this user on this channel. Bye, bitch. If I could ban you from the universe, I would.
themselves different.
Yeah, and it like goes silent here for a second, which is weird. It comes back though.
You had the combination of a violent left-wing organization threatening our nation's highest court and the federal government and the Department of Justice turning a blind eye to it. Those are the conditions in which this
How?
Can he
There,
cite the source of what this direct? I don't understand why we're talking in vagacies, right? Like, why can't you say on such an X, Y, and Z date, this organization directly threatened the United States government? I don't understand why that's an issue for you to produce that evidence, because this
right.
just sounds like a supposed thing that happened in your head.
Yeah, if it was a real thing, you should be able to give us names, locations, dates, what actually happened. This is just vague shit. Like, oh, there was one leftist guy that decided to shoot Charlie Kirk, so now here's this disproportionate reaction. That's really what this is about. That's really what this is. They're taking full advantage of that one event.
Because they turned him into God status. That's the issue. But Charlie Kirk became God. And
Yeah.
now we must prevent another God like Charlie Kirk from suffering from a bullet. God forbid you guys. Or no.
Like, yeah, was it sad that dude got like blasted? Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't one of the people like cheering it on and shit. That's fucked up. But he died how he lived. Let's be real. Like, he didn't care about mass shootings or like doing any kind of like policy changes regarding that. He was all for crazy people getting guns. So I mean, can't really have much sympathy for him. For his family, of course, but not for him. Sucks.
kind of violence can fester as a cancer and ultimately destroy a society. Nothing that we do
Cancer.
works.
Oh, cancer. We got a disease mention.
Yep, disease mention, dehumanization. Do I think Trump will face any war crime charges? Absolutely not. He will face no consequences for anything. Anything. And he knows it. I mean,
Yep.
he was what did he say on the campaign trail? I could go down Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and I'd still get your vote. And he's right.
Die to it. Those are the conditions in which this kind of violence can fester as a cancer and ultimately destroy a society.
Yeah, see, now we're talking about this destruction of society, cancer. This is a form of dehumanization. And he goes further with it. It's
So I've been
big.
doing lots of like historical research into like the early precursors for what makes up people complicit in genocide and things like that. And this type of language is the stepping stones to something far worse. And I don't think it's being alarmist at all to point this out and go, what? Help?
No, this is what we're doing right now is sounding the alarm.
Because, like, okay, like during World War II in America, there was an American Nazi party that was allowed to basically thrive within the United States. That's the
Yeah.
point of this country, is to have all of these ideologies be able to be accepted, because that's what the fucking founding fathers wanted, was a big ass fucking shit fuck country, okay? That's where we are. We're in the shit fuck country.
Yeah.
That's what freedom of speech, expression, all these things that we said that, oh,
And
you
it's
could be a Nazi, but you don't want to be in Germany, don't you? Like,
yeah.
let's be real.
Yeah, nobody wants senseless public violence. Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, and where's this giant leftist threat? Like, you got to name names. You got to at least. You said Antifa, but that's generic as fuck. That's like saying like, oh, this black bloc. You guys know about black bloc? Like, well, black bloc is an organization. No, it's not. It's just a tactic. It's Antifa's the same thing ostensibly.
Nothing that we do works if the threat of violence and terror goes on unchecked. Our political systems don't work.
Yeah, you want to know what the threat of violence is is unchecked? Is people existing. Certain people existing. That is the threat to society, to this man, and to anyone who likes him.
Can I
Judicial
propose
system.
something a little crazy? Do
Yeah.
you think that the powers that be, and I'm not meaning like a shadow government or whatever, I'm talking about our current government system, is attacking Antifa and these organizations because they are becoming too prevalent, and they're worried that the people will revolt? That it's becoming more and more to that common day person, like, hey, this is bullshit. You know what? I'll join your group. Is that the concern? And that's why we have to nip this in the bud? Because
I think that's
you're
part
worried
of
that
it.
the people are going
I
to
think
turn
that's
on you?
I think that's part of it. Yeah. Yeah, especially as there's more economic downturn. People are going to start looking for people to blame, and the people at the top don't want to be blamed, even though they're the ones responsible. So they're gonna have the blame put on leftists and Hispanics and immigrants, whatever whatever works. So buckle up.
All I'm
We're in for
saying
a
is that
ride.
being united on some type of front is, whatever your political leanings may lie, will be far stronger than depending on the federal government.
Hmm.
I mean, like, the resistant groups in France fighting against the Nazis. I mean, like, these things will still persist even if you try to exterminate.
Right. Yeah. So like get to know your neighbors if you don't know your neighbors. At least say hi to them and stuff, because you might need some familiarity with
Yes, oh
people
my
around
gosh,
you.
you should know your neighbor. Stop being scared of everyone. Good God.
Yeah.
Especially at this point, because um, more likely than not, the neighbor is going to help you more than the government ever will. The
Oh
government,
yeah.
the senator is not going to come to your house and go, "Hey, you need a cup of sugar, friend?"
Right.
Systems don't work. Our legal systems don't work. Our jury trials don't
Oh
work
yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
if the threat of violence and terror goes on unchecked. Our political systems don't work. Our judicial systems don't work. Our legal systems don't work. Our jury trials don't work.
Catch that?
Wait, pause. So, do you want to overhaul our governmental system so it does work in your favor? What are you suggesting here?
Jury trials don't work. So he wants to get rid of trials, jury trials at the very
Calling,
least.
yeah, calling into question our judicial system is insane.
Yeah.
it functions as it's supposed to. If a terrorist, okay, so by that fact, are you saying that like the supposed shooter of Charlie Kirk is not going to receive a fair trial because our justice system's crooked? Like, what are we implying here? I don't.
Yeah. I mean, that's really what they want. They don't want fair trials. And he gets into that. He explicitly outlines that shortly after this little clip. That's why I just wanted to point this out. Whoops.
If the threat of violence and terror goes on unchecked. Our political systems don't work, our judicial systems don't work, our legal systems don't work, our jury trials don't work. And at the same time, we have to understand there's a real threat that those who are not themselves terrorists, but who support left-wing violence.
Catch that. I'm going to move forward, but just I wanted to highlight this. People who aren't terrorists but support left-wing violence
Will create the conditions that allow that violence to go on without any meaningful inhibition. So, to be specific, we've seen some of our nation's...
Are you saying thought crimes are illegal now? Is thinking bad?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
cities in America,
Oh,
like
if
Washington.
the idea persists, then we've lost.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of the idea. This is what I was saying with the AJ thing, and I think it serves a great example. Mass killing does not stamp out idealism. It can't remove religion, creed, or culture. It's been tried. They're still around. Your whole grandiose experiment of doing these mass things to get rid of whoever you don't like, they're still around.
Yeah.
Even indigenous Americans, we fucking tried that shit real hard. They're still around. So it's not going to work. As
Yeah.
much as you
No,
want
well,
to, I think this is also an alarmist thing to scare the shit out of people. Well, guess what? If you kill me, my idea still stands, regardless of
yeah,
if I'm dead or not.
that's right.
And that's backed by your so-called religious ideals and beliefs as well. So,
Like the stream, guys.
well,
Like the
yeah.
stream to keep us immortal.
Shit. Also, write stuff down, y'all. Get a journal. Get a diary. No fucking joke. Write out your ideas, because you never know. You never know. You might get arrested.
You might get arrested and disappeared and thrown into a pit.
Conditions that allow that violence to go on without any meaningful inhibition. So, to be specific, we've seen some of our nation's cities in America, like Washington, D.C. and New York City, something, again, it's an American term, but it's known as jury nullification. This is when a person is obviously guilty of a crime.
When a person's obviously guilty of a crime, you see this? How he's framing it? The person's obviously guilty. There's no point in having a trial anyway. So why do we have this jury?
Immediately against what our judicial system is. Immediately.
Yep.
It's innocent until proven guilty, Mr. Miller.
Yeah.
In every state. In all 50 states.
Person obviously guilty of a crime. Yeah. And you know, one thing that's going to end up happening too is if they catch wind of you being a leftist but you haven't committed any crimes, they'll invent one. They'll invent the evidence for it. We have AI, generative AI. You know how easy it is to put you in a video doing a crime.
Well, yeah, and they've already done this to, I think, a woman in Colorado. They have these flock cameras, right?
Yeah,
And this officer was convinced that it was this woman that committed this crime, and it took over 6 months of her being in jail for someone to prove that it, in fact, was not her ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like her bank account showed that she was in another state whenever this crime occurred. So your bank account can't even save you. Your own location where you are can't save you at this point. You're
Nope.
fucked.
Nope. If law enforcement thinks that you're guilty of something, like you're pretty fucked. Unless you get lucky. You're like I'm gonna. It was requested that I change the name of this stream, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Yeah, probably for the best. They'll
I'm
probably get flagged like, oh, it's adult.
It's adult. It's an adult stream. I mean, it kind of is, but you know. Let's see, live. Let me go into my own live here.
And then I was thinking too, what's my little independent historical study nonsense that I do. The first people to be imprisoned besides the disabled and gays were political prisoners. So, and certainly now with social media, who knows what they're going to deem as political
Yeah.
dissenters? Who knows? I mean, because like, okay, what was that big? I forget what it was. I think it was people talking about Charlie Kirk. Their employers were firing them because of their opinion about Charlie Kirk. That's insane.
Yeah, they're trying to
Like,
turn cancel culture around. That's what they're trying to do. Now, if you're like one of those people that was like cheering on him getting like murked and like being grotesque about it, like and showing your face while doing it, I don't have much sympathy. Kind of stupid of you.
okay, but like, okay, if you had a job where that would be deemed inappropriate, but if you were a fry cook at McDonald's, who gives a shit? If you were
Yeah,
a nurse or a doctor or something where you have to sign a contract that says like, hey, you need to maintain modesty in some respect to our company. That's just an unfortunate part of the company that you work for. But like at the end of the day, like I'm sure most of the people that were celebrating him dying are probably unemployed. I'm not gonna lie to you.
probably. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty likely. Like you're willing to say that kind of thing, like with your face
Yeah,
visible,
I mean, if you're emboldened enough to say that, I can't imagine you're the most hireable candidate ever,
right?
and that's just an inference.
Yeah, you have, you know, don't have any inhibitions. And there's people that did this on the right too. I remember, it was after Obama got elected for the second time. There was some lady who said like, "Oh, great, 4 more years of the bleep," and
Oh my, um, Anthony, great example. You guys remember Opie and Anthony, the show, the radio show? Well,
yes,
Anthony Cumia got kicked off of Sirius Radio because he had a political meltdown over Obama being elected. He literally thought black people were going to, en masse, collect and collaborate and kill white people, and that the country and our nation was over. He dead ass thought that and sat on the air and thought he was going to keep his job.
it's fucking stupid. That's so dumb.
And he's like,
That
I run Compound Media for free speech. You just
yeah.
want to say dumb shit.
I remember there's people being like, "Oh, they're gonna paint the White House black." It's like, so the White House literally represents whiteness to you. Didn't know. God, it's it just revealed a lot. It revealed a lot, and all this is a reaction to that. Like just like one black president, now we have to be Nazis to
Well,
make sure it
and
never happens again.
I remember seeing like people make up dolls of Obama and like deface it and like burn it. Like people were legitimately like shooken by the Obama administration. Like that was like life shattering for people. And if
Such
you
a nothing like he didn't do really much of anything. Like I mean he started like Obamacare and stuff, but you know who also had a version of Obamacare?
Bush,
M- Mitt Romney.
Mitt
Mitt,
Romney, really
yep, Mitt Romney in
interesting.
Massachusetts. Mitt Romney was governor of Massachusetts, and he instituted a policy that's basically equivalent to Obamacare at the state level, way before Obamacare came around. And when it was funny when Mitt and Obama were debating this sort of thing, it's like you did the same thing already. People just forgot. They just don't think. They don't look into shit. It's just a mess. And I didn't even agree with the way Obamacare was implemented. I thought it was going to raise the cost of healthcare because it was demanding that you like it was a mandate, an individual mandate, like you had to buy insurance, and there was no public option. So like, how do you control the price? Like that'd be like saying like, oh, you have to buy. It's now law that you have to buy Pringles. Well, guess what? I can charge whatever I want for Pringles now because you have to buy it.
They already do that with car insurance. Like a lot of
Exactly.
states
Yep.
require car insurance.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, and that's
also,
another one
do
that there should probably be a public option for that to control the price.
oh,
Otherwise, it's just it. You can't mandate that somebody buy something and then not have a public option. Like that's insanity.
when I listen to these, like the state of the world as it is right now, uh, what the hell was the GOP's reaction to the civil rights movement? Because were we melting down every day like this, going like, "Oh my God, the civil rights movement's gonna eat this country alive. What are we gonna do,
Yes.
you guys?"
Yes. Yes. That is yes. Yes. Well, white people were very afraid.
Oh, be
At least
afraid. The
the
status
at
quo is
least
changing.
at least the racist ones were. You know what I mean? There were cool white people back then that weren't doing that shit.
Well, I mean,
Like
like,
in
okay,
Germany.
because like I feel like we celebrate Martin Luther King a lot now. Like, were people at home sitting and watching Martin Luther King going like, "That's the most evil man in America. Like, he's gonna destroy our nation."
Yes,
Like,
yes. I thought he was a communist. This is like around the Red Scare time. They're like, oh, he's a commie. Like that was like a talking point at the time. But you didn't have the internet back then, so like it was all like on TV or like person to person, newspapers, stuff like that. There was no like forums. You couldn't go to imracist.com. You know what I mean?
well, my thing, I just feel like I don't know. My age group is so like my parent was born in the middle of the civil rights movement. So I don't have anyone directly in my family that's like, yeah, the civil rights movement. I remember that fondly because we're poor and they were too busy raising thousands of children. So it's, you don't sit and think about this stuff until it comes up and you're like, has the government always been this reactionary towards change? Like, this is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I think this time it's a little different because um, we have technology that can do things that humans aren't willing to do. Like, it goes back to the Milgram experiment, right? Where they uh, told people like turn up the voltage. He's not doing it right. Turn it up, and it showed that people would do things. This but they would stop at a certain point. I was only following orders kind of thing at the Nuremberg trials. Like, there's some people willing to go that far. Like, if you tell one, some psycho, like, you can kill that guy now, they'll do it. But there's, some people you tell, like, kill that innocent person, they won't. They won't do it. And that is a hindrance to the death cult that is the Stephen Miller type Trump shit that's happening. And the way to get around that is to have robots do it, drones, shit like that. Back then, back in the day, they didn't have that. You had to rely on people. Now you don't. You can have an algorithm select who is a leftist and just mow them down with a drone that's armed with a fucking machine gun. You know, getting a little grim here,
A
but
drone
these are things
that
that
we fed all
exist.
the information to
Yeah, these
through
are things that
Pokemon Go.
exist. These are things that exist. It's just all I'm doing is saying, here we have one, here we have another one. You put them together and you have two. Okay? Like it's literally all the cards are on the table. It's just a matter of assembling your hand at this point. That's really where we're at. It might sound alarmist, but you should be alarmed. Now is the time to be alarmed.
Because they're
Well,
ideologically.
and then to take again examples from history, like a lot of people, 1930s, 1935, they were concerned and waited too long, and then they got stuck in a country they couldn't get fucking out of, and they were trapped in Europe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna rename the stream again. So let's see.
There's no surprise that Canada has um, started to change their God, what is that? Their immigration law for U.S. citizens that have Canadian ancestry can obtain citizenship a lot easier now.
Right. Go. Let's see. Maybe that'll. I titled it "Fascist Farts" before. I'm gonna change it a little bit. Let's change it to political discussion. Now people know what they're getting into. Let's see. Let's see what more Timu Goebbels has to say here.
In New York City, something is, again, it's an American term, but it's known as jury nullification. This is when a person is obviously guilty of a crime, but the juror, because they're ideologically sympathetic to the perpetrator, will not sentence them to the crime for which they've obviously committed. We've seen in the United States, again and again, individuals who are part of left-wing organizations who've committed assaults against ICE officers or federal law enforcement.
There you go. That's what it's about. You're fighting back. You're fighting back against the Gestapo. Don't do that. Your ideas are bad and illegal. Paving the way for literal thought crime and being disappeared by secret police.
Well, and again, why can you not produce any information regarding this at all?
Yeah.
You can't
I mean,
say, oh, in 2015, such and so, and blah, blah, blue, 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 and this is our administration believes this. You're just saying it. How can I take your word?
trust me, bro. That's where we're at with this. And yeah, a lot of ICE officers, they just like arrest people or like start shooting at people, kill them for no reason. Like they're driving away or like running away and they shoot at them. Do you know what you call somebody that shoots someone in the back? A rat. Only a rat would shoot someone in the back. If someone's running away when you shoot them, you're a rat. That's rat shit. Like any cop that shoots someone who's running away, rat. Any ICE agent that does it, rat. If you do it, rat.
Who've been brought to court where clear evidence has been presented against them that the jury has refused to convict for purely political reasons.
Tough shit. You selected the population to be part of the jury. You know, if they don't see it as a crime, then it's not a fucking crime. That's how it works. You didn't get your way? Tough shit.
When you've reached that point, it demonstrates how
Because no racist jury ever let a white man go. Yeah, right? Yeah. Yeah, and flip it around that way. But, like, you know, they'd support that. You know what I mean? It's backwards.
deeply the cancer has begun to infest your society.
See?
Refused
Well,
to
here we go.
convict for purely political reasons.
Oh my god,
When you've
cancer
reached
again?
It gets so much worse, Brittany. It gets so much worse. It's bad. It gets really bad.
that point, it demonstrates how deeply the cancer has begun to infest your society, where people have created an internal rationalization structure to justify unsanctioned violence.
Unsanctioned violence versus sanctioned violence. Just an interesting choice of words here.
Against the state and state actors to achieve a political end.
Self-defense is a crime. You know what would happen if there was a branch of the government going around like harassing right-wingers, and the right-wingers were fighting back but then going to jail? You know, right-wingers would have a shit fit. They're going around shooting people randomly. Fucking unhinged over there. Yeah, what about the federal police on January 6th who died needlessly? Yes, thank you, Spaghetti Model. I see ya. Y'all got me excited and hyped up. That's why I don't watch politics. Yeah, no, for a long time I didn't want to talk about politics. For a long time. Because I knew where things were going, and I just didn't want to think about it. And I think I have to think about it. As miserable as it fucking is, I have to think about it and talk about it. Because this is we're going to hell in a handbasket here. And things aren't looking good.
We have to use every lawful and legitimate tool that we have to demonstrate that justice will be served and delivered, and to prove that these kinds of tactics and techniques will ultimately fail. If the leftist learns and observes that their violence and criminal activity helps and ultimately succeeds in achieving their desired political end, they will be endlessly emboldened. Here in the United States, we've seen a growing and deeply alarming increase in attempted assassinations against public figures. Most notably, of course, the multiple assassination attempts against President Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is something. But did you guys know there was assassination attempts against Obama? They didn't really get the news, though. You guys know about those? People don't really talk about those ones. Let's see.
Hey, doesn't this country have a rich history of assassinating presidents?
Yeah, 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 something like that. But I remember there was one attempt that got my attention. It did make, you know, some news. Like I saw it online. I didn't see it on TV at all. Wasn't talked about on TV. But some asshole took a, I don't know, I think it was like a rudimentary drone, like an early drone, packed it with C4, like loaded up with C4 explosives, and tried to fly it into the White House
Jesus.
to assassinate Obama. Do you guys remember that? Do you guys hear about that? No? He
I'd
doesn't
have
know
to
about that
look
one?
that up. I do know that I think Obama had, like, in terms of presidency, like, the most amount of, like, death threats or something like that, dude. It
Oh
was
yeah.
rape.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think if they talked about every instance of that, that's all that would be in the news. There's just so much of it.
I remember being in, like, going to the county fair. Hold on one second, I'm still at work.
Yeah, no problem.
Fix it, 1 second. I remember going to the county fair and they had T-shirts of, like, dead Obama.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, people. Yeah, imagine someone walking around with a T-shirt of a dead Trump. You go to fucking jail. And like, what about free speech, right? As long as you're not explicitly threatening. But like, you know, I wouldn't wear something like that. Shit's. I don't agree with that. I think when Trump was shot through the ear, um, I considered us pretty lucky that his head didn't explode on live TV. Because if it had, there would have been rampant bloodshed. Right wingers would have jizzed their pants, used that as any excuse to go around and just fucking kill people. We would have had a kickoff of some kind of civil war at that point. I think we're extremely lucky that that bullet missed. Whether you like Trump or not, like I don't want that to happen. I don't want to see the dude, his head explode on TV. But that, like, in some parallel universe, that happened, and a lot of people are dead. Like, we really lucked out that that bullet missed.
The successful assassination attempt against Charlie Kirk, many others. This is a fatal cancer to civilization.
Catch that? Leftism is a fatal cancer to civilization. If you are left to center, you're a cancer. You're a cancer. If you're far left, you're even more of a cancer. If you disagree with ICE, if you're a conservative but you disagree with ICE, you're a cancer. If you're a conservative, you don't like Trump, you're a cancer. You understand that? You got that? He's calling you cancer.
And the greatest risk that we have is that our institutions have grown too soft and too cowardly to be able to defend themselves against a mortal threat. If your civilization is your home, you must defend it with the same passion and force as if an enemy intruder is inside your own house where your family lives. That is the level of dedication and urgency that is required. And the greatest threat is that even though there are far more of us, there are far more people who believe in order and civilization and liberty and the rule of law.
Um, yes, my zodiac sign is Cancer. Yeah, yeah, I'm an
I'm a
asparagus.
Taurus. You're asparagus?
I'm actually a Pisces Aries cusp, like right on the
Oh
line.
shit, you're on the cusp. Oh, dude. You guys should join Michelle's fucking membership because she'll read your tarot card. And I had never had anybody read tarot to me before, and it was so eerie, it really creeped me the fuck out. I
Oh
was like,
yeah,
whoa.
I'll have to ask her to do that for me. I don't believe in that kind of thing, but if if it's accurate, it's accurate. I'm curious. Um, I actually was. There's a lot of like a lot of people dismiss stuff, um, with even if it's falsifiable. Like stuff like that, it should be if it's accurate enough, you should be able to experiment with it, right? I even thought this about the zodiac signs, right? So what I did it's a little bit biased because I could only find celebrities, data on celebrities. But I got a list of celebrities that took the Myers-Briggs test. If you guys know the Myers-Briggs test, and it's like
Yes,
if
I
if
had to
you're
take the Myers-Briggs.
where you're INTP or
You
INTJ, ENT, whatever, and I got that information for the celebrities, and then I wrote up some code to do like a Google search on each of the celebrities and find their birthdays, and from there I could get their sign, right? I get their zodiac sign. And what I was looking for is there any correlation between your Myers-Briggs result and your zodiac sign? And this is just celebrities, so it's biased because that's the collection is celebrities, right? But there was a slight correlation that I found between introversion, extroversion, and whether or not you're born in the summer months.
interesting.
Yeah, so there
Remember
is
a couple
there's
months ago, I was randomly guessing people's birthdays, and I was getting it eerily right. Oh my god, that freaked me out. That was the worst. I was like, "Oh, I'm right. Okay. Oh, ha ha ha."
but what I'd want to do, and maybe you guys can help me. Um, maybe I'll make like a little page where you guys can submit what your zodiac sign is and what your Myers-Briggs results are, and I can get a larger sample size to do this analysis. Because I only looked at celebrities, because that's all the data. I can't like look up find random people's zodiac signs and INT Myers Briggs. Yeah. No, it's interesting. You got to keep an open mind, as a regular person or a scientist, right? You can't just dismiss shit outright. So yeah, I think you're I either end up INTJ or INTP. Sometimes ENTP. I can't decide if I'm introvert or extrovert or J or P. Really depends. See, what offers did you see where the guy that operated the teleprompter from Trump was making money off of bets on what he would say during a speech? No, I didn't catch that. That's funny. Let's get back to Goebbels.
Is that if we are softer
I'm gonna
than
switch to my PC so I sound better.
Okay.
BRB.
BRB. I'll wait to play the rest of this when Brittany's back. But yeah, it's interesting to look at this data. I'd like to get a larger sample that isn't just celebrities. Um, I might do some. That was a while ago when I did that. Maybe someone's uploaded data sets where that data, there's more of that kind of data. I'm sure I'm not the first to think to do that, or some other kind of personality test. Myers-Briggs has flaws too. I mean, so does Zodiac. But yeah, it's interesting that there was a correlation at all. I didn't expect that. It was significant too. It was a weak correlation, but it was statistically significant, right? Um, and that's what I found really
Hold on.
interesting about it.
I gotta fix my settings. You can keep going. Sorry, my bad.
Like a correlation can be weak, but still statistically significant. Like, what's an example?
All right, I'm back.
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
I'm
Can't think
here.
of
I'm
one off the top of my
clear.
head. But I think like height and um, like height and IQ have a really weak correlation. It's statistically significant, but it's very weak. Where like what that means is that like if you're really tall, you tend to have a slightly higher IQ, but it's not a lot. But it is statistically significant, and then that pattern shows up um, across the board. Now, how you explain that? Nutrition, who knows? But It's a weak correlation, but it's statistically significant. I hope that makes sense.
Those who seek to end us, then the smaller but more radical minority.
Here we go. Let me take a step back. So you kind of gather our thoughts again.
Of dedication and urgency that is required. And the greatest threat is that even though there are far more of us, there are far more people who believe in order and civilization and liberty and the rule of law, is that if we are softer than those who seek to end us, then the smaller but more radical minority will succeed. It is easy to dismiss what I'm saying and to say, surely it cannot be that bad, it cannot be that dire. But again, I point to the examples in our own country where, for example, our Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which has been duly statutory authorized to carry out routine enforcements of immigration law, has been subjected to an over 8,000% increase in violent assaults. These are not one-off episodes. This is repeat, systemic.
1,000% increase. I mean, that's theoretically possible, but I don't believe it.
Again, why can't if if we value ICE people, right, and we value people that work in immigration, and they are victims of violence, I don't see why you can't prop them up. They're just nameless faces to you. I think victim impact is far more persuasive than this. There's supposed things going on, and because that's where I think Antifa kind of props up victims a lot, like victims of ICE coming in their home and killing people. ICE is killing people in droves. It's fucking insane. And we could point at literally what just happened in Texas recently. And put a date behind it.
People say things like, well, you shouldn't have been in the country illegally. It's not, it doesn't deserve the death penalty. Extrajudicial killing? If you're okay with extrajudicial killing, get out of my country. That shit's fucked. Leave.
And the thing is, too, it's like, immigration does strengthen our country and our nation.
Long term, it does. Short term, there is a bit of a negative impact statistically, just because they're using resources and stuff. But it's like any investment, right? When you buy a stock, you have to spend money to do that, and if it does well, then they tend to do well, right? Like on average, like if you were to maybe not a stock necessarily, but like some kind of portfolio instrument, like where it's diversified, it's going to do well on average over a long period of time. Still, there's a cost that has to be sunk into it. And the same thing with people. People come over here that they have to use some resources when they get started, but over time, it's a net positive. That's how you have to think about it.
Well, and then the thing is that I think a lot of people don't realize is that emigrating to this country legally is expensive. It's expensive. Yeah. It's not accessible for everybody. That's why there are people in our country illegally. That's why Americans go to countries where they're not going to check for things so they can stay there illegally. Because there's too many loopholes. There's too much, I have to get a lawyer and an attorney and do this and do that to even petition to become a citizen. Like that, who in their right mind can really afford that with the given economy? And a lot of these immigrants are getting paid in cash, so they don't have any bank account to pay the lawyer.
Right. People are going to do what they got to do to survive. Like, for example, you make shit too expensive. Like, if you make food too expensive, guess what's gonna happen? People are gonna steal it.
Yep.
You make bread too expensive, it's going to be stolen.
It's crazy too. back to the everything goes back to history for me. That's where my head goes. That's just how
And I
it is for me.
appreciate that. That's great.
I was listening to a Holocaust survivor talk about the Polish ghettos. And, when these ghettos were created, they would point out how monstrous the Jews and the Poles were acting, when in all reality, you had to steal to survive because you were starving, and it was deliberate starvation. And they will, like, the powers that be in our society will use those tools against you to then further prove and justify how much you need to die.
Like, look at this. Look at these people committing all these crimes. Like, yeah, it's because they have nothing, and you're preventing them from getting anything they need. It's basically you're saying that it's illegal for them to be alive. At the end of the day, when it gets to that point, that's what it is, and that's what we're looking at here. And guess what? You're on the chopping block now. Like, that's what's happening. You disagree with the Trump administration in any way? You're on the chopping block. You ready to go to jail?
I just saw this thing
organized,
from a TikTok
funded
creator. I forget what his name is. Let me check. Someone in my even people in my D&D groups that we all hang out with, and it's just fun. We're all getting political now. His name's Hawks Podcast.
Not familiar with that one.
MGD 650 Hawk. And he is talking about basically how if you're white, you need to get ready to sit in jail for your political beliefs. And this is the time to step up.
Fuck.
So he's basically saying, like, hey, if you think that your whiteness is overall going to protect you from what's going on in our nation, you will be a political prisoner.
I understand.
And you
I
should
understand.
anticipate becoming a political prisoner.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't own a gun, I suggest looking into that. Now, I know a lot of people, it's a very uncomfortable topic. It's uncomfortable for me. I don't like having weapons in the house. Statistically, it's pretty dangerous, but learn how to use it properly.
Get a gun safe. Oh my God, please,
Get a
everyone.
gun
Good
safe.
Lord.
Learn. Take like gun safety lessons. A lot of states require it before you're even allowed to buy a gun, but not all states do that, which is crazy to me. You should have to take a safety class before you're allowed to operate a thing. That's how driving works. That's how gun operation should work as well. And yeah, learn gun safety, become familiar with it, or get to know a friend who's good at it. And yeah, it's it's looking bad. You might need to defend yourself from crazy shit. If it's the government, it's the state
We're
coming after you.
fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked. Like the gun is then used to prevent your own suffering. But if it's some brown shirt shit, disorganized crap, like, defend yourself. That's what that's what this country's about, is defending yourself from tyranny. That's the whole thing.
If this nation goes into another civil war, it will not survive. It will not be America.
No, it'll balkanize.
By the end of it.
It'll balkanize. Absolutely.
Our nation basically almost crumbled the first Civil War. let alone a modern Civil War. And that's a scary part, right? Like, again, if you haven't read Animal Farm, holy fuck. Read it, please. Jesus. Because the moral of the story at the end of the day is yes, we could all unite and overthrow the government, but whoever's overthrowing it or whatever, we certainly don't know if they're in the same shoes as the same people before. And that's scary.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, you don't know who it's gonna be. Like, people clamor for a revolution, but you don't know who's gonna win. Like, it's I don't know. I'm more concerned about self-defense at this point, self-preservation.
I'm not in the means to just like bear arms and stockpile and things like that, but like if you live in the city, again, talk to people. They're grassroots. Don't fucking do it on the internet. Holy shit. It's not safe anymore. It never was. We're being mass surveilled, but there are people out there that if you're like-minded enough, of any political persuasion, you could find a grassroots group. And I believe wholeheartedly you should participate in it because your neighbors are going to be the ones that are um tending to wounds and
At
feeding
least,
you.
at the very least, be friendly with your neighbors, unless they're fucking crazy or something. Then fuck that. But the chances are they're not.
Well,
Um,
I have a very firm like I want people to know me in the neighborhood because like the actual threat of going missing in my city is very real and I would want people to know at least that I
yeah.
existed.
Like, oh, I haven't seen that person in a while. I wonder what happened. So let me,
Yes,
ask
that
around.
happens here all the time.
Yeah,
There
people
was
just
one
go
week
missing.
I saw somebody and then I was like, "Hey, what happened to blah blah blah?" I haven't seen him in like a week. He's usually walking around. They were like, "Oh, he died. He died." Oh.
That
Oh
sucks.
shit. Damn.
That sucks. It sucks
Snake.
to learn that that people die. Like if you haven't seen them in a while. I had like a friend in high school, and like I hadn't seen. I went on. This is when I'm still out of Facebook. I went on Facebook, and I was like, oh, I wonder, how he's doing. I looked him up. He had been dead for like 10 years. It's like, oh fuck. Well, so much for reconnecting. I just want to hug trees and drink my own tears. No. Yeah, let's drink more of this, shall we?
Insurrection and armed resistance against the federal government. There was a sniper from a sniper's nest who, using an assault rifle, tried to shoot ICE officers in Dallas, Texas. These are the episodes that we're talking about, where we have had repeated, direct, violent attacks on federal law enforcement in order to veto the ballot box with violence. And the
Huh? Bring it to the ballot box now?
Well, yeah, they're trying to retcon the midterms.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the goal here. It's some pretext like, oh well, the Democrats won because of violence, so we have to uh, somehow change the results or something. Whatever they plan on doing. It's all about cheating now. It's all about cheating and violence.
leftist
You know
justifies
what?
this
I'm
violence.
gonna go with what my mom told me when I was a little kid. Life's not fair. The government's not fair. So if you don't like an election or whatever the fuck, guess what? Things aren't fair in the world. And we should
Yeah,
just leave it at that. I don't think anybody's strong arming anybody to vote Democrat.
no,
I don't think someone's holding a gun to anybody's head and going, "You're gonna vote Democrat or else."
no. In fact, the opposite's probably happening somewhere. At least it's more likely that the opposite's happening. And fuck, I don't like Democrats. I think they're like pussyfoot, fucking implicit, controlled opposition. The Democrats exist only to hijack leftist momentum and then fucking lose elections. That's it. It's just a demoralization operation at the end of the day. So, like, that stacked on top of this shit is just, this whole disenfranchisement of the left is not enough. We have to start taking them out. There's too much disagreement with this administration. And at this point, if you disagree with ICE in any capacity, you're Antifa. Literally, you're Antifa.
Violence to himself by saying that they alone are the arbiters of what is right or wrong. Not
That's
the
you.
law, not history, not civilization, not public opinion, and certainly not God. The leftist assumes for himself.
Certainly not God. Okay, God has endorsed a whole fucking place to turn to a pillar of salt, to fight in his name. All these really horrible, fucked up things. God, Abrahamic God, we aren't being very clear on what God we're talking about. He's kind of violent. he kind of does a little kooky stuff.
Oh yeah.
Remember that whole part where he drowned the world and some guy had to build a big boat?
Yeah. Which is that's a story that exists even outside the Bible though. You could find that same story in Greek mythology. It's a popular one. It's interesting how that works, but I don't want to get too off topic with theology. But
Sorry, he said
no,
God, and I started going, wait.
right. No, I mean this is this goes back into the document that he was mentioning, the NSPM, whatever it is, 7 lists anti-Christian activity as like being terroristic.
Anti-Christian? What?
Yeah, we'll take a look. Take a look if we got time.
I hate to bring up theology. I'm going to do this really fast.
Yeah, no,
so
go for
quick.
it.
Another
Well-
history factoid. Hey, guess what? The modern context of Christianity that we're speaking of at the moment is not the same Christianity that the founding fathers were basing their ideals around. And it, quite frankly, is sickening that you don't want to point that out and that Thomas Jefferson stood for modern day Christianity when the motherfucker edited the Bible and took out all the miracles because that was the popular belief at the time, that God had no interaction with man at all post Jesus dying.
Yeah, the Jefferson Bible. Yeah. Yeah, look up, if you guys are curious, look up the Jefferson Bible. It's basically the Bible minus the miracles.
That was a common thought. Like, Thomas Jefferson wasn't the first person to come up with that, right? Theology changes over time. Christianity has changed a lot since 1776.
Right? Especially in the US. I had no idea that they turned Odyssey into a movie. That was another thing I read in school. Yeah. Separate church and state, please. Well, they don't think that anymore. I mean, the president is some dude with the president was saying like church and state are not separate. And the president was right there being like, you're right. They're not. So, yeah, if you want the state, if you want church and state, you want the IRS and the church. Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah.
And they should be taxed. Yep, I said it. Tax them. Fuck it.
Yeah.
You owe us a lot of money.
At this point, fuck it. if you want to mix church and state, we'll mix it both ways. I was hoping Keldos would come in right there with the I go both ways.
He's sleeping.
Ah,
He was up at like 7 a.m. here, so like 5 a.m.
damn,
over there.
damn. You don't know any gun owners that are in a well-regulated militia? Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Hell,
Judge,
Christianity has changed a lot since 1986. You're absolutely right, Shadowhair. Let's talk about something in modern day Christianity, the rapture. That didn't happen until the late 80s. Scary.
Jefferson's
Some guy
ultimate
just
trope.
came up with that. That one, like the Left Behind
Yeah,
rapture idea. That's so fucking insane to me because I grew up thinking like, oh, I gotta be ready for this rapture shit that's gonna pop off anytime, anywhere. Hope it doesn't happen anytime. And I'd be like, oh, I better be extra saved just in case, I don't want to be left behind.
you gotta be extra saved. What does it mean to be extra saved? You have to get.
Well, here's my thing of why I quit Christianity because at the time I did not feel a lot of people when they get saved they say they feel redeemed and they have a like they are a new person and all these things, and that did not reflect how I felt. So I was saved multiple times because I was unassured of how saved I truly was.
Hmm.
And that's why I converted to Buddhism because uh there is no cosigned like heaven or hell or like if you severely fucked up, even in like different types of Buddhism, right? If you severely fucked up and you believe in reincarnation, I mean it's going to be existence in the wheel again. Like you're not going nowhere, you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
have to
It
go
made
be.
more sense to me than Christianity did. I had more an emotional reaction to Buddhism than I did Christianity, even though I grew up in the religion.
Yeah,
That's as plain as I could put it.
I quit religion when this is just my opinion, and when I realized God wasn't real, I was like, oh, well, then what the fuck is the point? I'm not gonna do any of this other shit.
So yeah, I do not believe in a deity, like overcoming my life or whatever, or being omnipresent.
Yeah,
I agree with that as well. That was a very liberating and freeing. I was introduced to Western Buddhism, so if anybody's here is a Buddhist expert, don't fucking get at me, okay?
yeah. I don't know much about Buddha. You'll have to enlighten me. So I don't know too much about that. But hold on a second. There we go. Let's see.
Some do
jury,
think Buddha and Jesus were the same guy.
Yeah,
I don't think so, though.
yeah. I don't think so.
Kind of ruins the whole story of him being like, not knowing the pain and suffering of the world and then going outside and being like, oh, fuck, I'm gonna die. Shoot.
And I think when you're dead, that's it. It's lights out. Sucks, but what are you gonna do?
I'd like
ex-
the idea of being like escorted through like hell realms or whatever. I don't know. I'm down for whatever. If it is that like if I do go to heaven, I'm gonna be annoyed. I'm gonna be like, you come on.
If it turns out I'm wrong, and there is some kind of afterlife. Cool, you know. But I don't I don't think so. I don't think that's what happens. But I could be wrong. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised or unpleasantly surprised. Maybe I'll go to the ninth rung of hell. for not thinking anything like that is real, or maybe it is the
It's Dante's
bonkers.
Inferno's hell, like the video game. That's kind of cool. I could be down for that kind of hell. It seemed
Yeah,
really torturous, but like whatever. I mean, fuck it. I don't have control over that either. It's
executioner. But let's not pretend for a moment that
yeah. Here.
really not God. The leftist assumes for himself judge, jury, executioner. But let's not
Projection.
pretend for a moment that these radical leftists, these terrorists, are operating from a place of sincere political conviction. Sure, there are plenty of useful idiots that they use who may believe these discredited ideologies. The leftist is fundamentally motivated by envy.
pause. What objectively makes an ideology whatever the fuck that word he just said? It just flew out of my mind.
Oh, here. Let's watch
Go
it again.
back one. Yeah, one more
Sure,
time.
there are plenty of useful idiots that they use who may believe these discredited ideologies.
What? Yeah,
Discredit-
okay. What discredits an ideology?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, there's if something's falsifiable, like flat Earth, right? Flat Earth is falsifiable. You can go measure the curvature of the Earth using sticks and shadows, right? You show that it's curved. So flat Earth is discredited. But I mean,
Is that an ideology though?
yeah, it's a good question. I don't know if that counts as that counts more just like a belief rather than an ideology. Yeah, what does it mean to have a discredited ideology?
And who was the person that came up with the methodology to discredit an ideology?
That's a really good question.
The we got me
The
thinking.
leftist is fundamentally motivated.
Look at this.
I went
He's talking about the leftists. No longer is he talking about left-wing terrorists.
the leftist.
Now it's just the leftist. The leftist is fundamentally motivated
By envy, by hatred, by jealousy. The leftist looks at what is beautiful and what is good and what is natural and is filled with envy and hatred. The leftist looks at a perfect family with the perfect life and a perfect job and perfect kids that goes to church every Sunday and is filled with a feeling of inadequacy and jealousy, and they covet, and they turn those emotions ultimately into a desire to subjugate, to oppress, and to inflict pain and suffering.
Catch all that?
Huh? Go back. I want to hear that speech again. Because I'm confused. We were talking about somebody that goes to church every Sunday, they feel inadequate, and then they get mad. I'm so confused.
Yeah, this is the degenerates hate beauty. Nazi talking point. This is the Nazi talking point. Degenerates hate beauty. They love ugliness. That's what he's getting at here. When I tell you it gets bad, this is where it starts to get bad.
Motivated by envy, by hatred, by jealousy. The leftist looks at what is beautiful and what is good and what is natural and is filled with envy and hatred. The leftist looks at a perfect family with the perfect life and a perfect job and perfect kids that goes to church every Sunday and is filled with a feeling of inadequacy and jealousy, and they covet, and they turn those emotions ultimately into a desire to subjugate, to oppress, and to inflict pain and suffering. It's not a coincidence that when you look at these violent Antifa demonstrations, you see any photograph of those who were assembled. To be blunt, not one of the people that is demonstrating looks like a normal person.
Show a photograph. Produce a Are we not allowed to look at anything? You just say stuff? You can't bring over an easel. You couldn't draw me a thing. You're just gonna say stuff?
Yeah, but now he's getting to the look at how ugly they are. Like
They're
that's
hideous.
Yeah, they're all ugly. And I'll back up in case anyone missed that.
Look at these violent Antifa demonstrations. You see any photograph of those who were assembled. To be blunt, not one of the people that is demonstrating looks like a normal person. Not one looks normal. They're all deformed in some way in their appearance, in their dress, in their mannerism. Why is
Wait. What?
Yeah, this is where we're at. Deformed. Yeah, I'll play it again.
one of the people that is demonstrating looks like a normal person? Not one looks normal. They're all deformed in some way in their appearance, in their dress, in their mannerism. Why is that? Why? If you look at two photographs and you see a normal American street, you see an Antifa protest. Why do the people that are violently demonstrating, why is there not one normal-looking person among them? Every one of them, through the course of their life and their decisions, has scarred their body and their appearance in many different ways, to the point in which their outer appearance becomes a manifestation of their inner hatred.
Holy fuck. I hate you.
You could just tell who the bad people are by looking at them. If they're ugly, that's what it is. That's what it's coming down to.
And this is why, you know what? I'm just gonna come out and say it. Remember when people would be like, that's really cringe of you to look and dress this way?
Mm.
Yes. Stop. Don't listen to them. Do what you want. We live in a country where that supposedly is a part of our inalienable rights of expression and such. Or we're known for that, right? We're pretty free to express ourselves, so do it. Go
Yeah.
crazy, go kooky. You want to, you know what? If you guys in the audience have always wanted to dye your hair blurple, blue and purple, blurple,
Purple.
do it. Fuck
I'll,
it.
I'll tell you what, like, just to protest, like, I'll go buy a fucking sundress. I'm pretty masculine presenting, but fuck it. I don't care.
We're doing. You know what? I'm switching up this look. We're going back to Scene Kid. Fuck you, sincerely. Oh my god.
Also, this guy talking about what normal's supposed to be.
Yeah, because like, have you been in like middle America? Like people that dress quote unquote normal also look kind of funky. Like, have you seen like the average person? They look kind of funky. That's just how it be.
Like, this guy only looks somewhat normal because he's wearing a suit.
Coming
he was-
from the man who looks like Nosferatu's child.
Is it right? Yeah. Not Nosferatu 3. It's the next one. Rather Nosferatu.
Shadow hair,
Nosferatu
dye
3.
your hair. We're going gay. If you're gay, be more gay out publicly.
We're
Fuck
gay now.
you.
Not a protest.
Out of spite. Yeah, get fucked. You know what? I'm so sick of people punching in my face and I don't give a shit. You know what? Fuck you.
America. It's America. If you don't like what you see, stay home. Fuck you. Like you don't want to see a trans person, stay home. Don't go out. Be shut in.
Yep.
Die
Shut in,
alone in your
Maxim.
house, forgotten. Nobody comes. Next time someone sees you, you'll be a fucking skeleton. Because nobody cares because you're a miserable piece of shit. Like, stay gone. Yeah, definitely be more in your face at this point. Ooh. Yeah, this guy.
Sickening. Just
This
sickening. You're trying to undo all the things and all the progress and all the. It's just insane to me.
Yeah, being ugly. Bring back. He wants to bring back ugly laws. It's basically what he's implying here. You guys know about ugly laws?
Yep.
It used to be illegal to be unsightly. You go to jail.
System of a Down said it best. They're trying to build a prison. They're trying to build a prison for you and me to live in. Another prison system. Another prison system for you and me. Oh, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, they weren't wrong. Well, like being like the ugliness is a manifestation of their inner hatred. Like, bro, if that's true, your innards, your inner manifestation is just pitch black
Yeah, dude.
slime. Pitch black
Like,
slime.
uh, I, c- I just don't understand. This is just so crazy, like authoritarian. It's
Yes.
insane.
Yes. And Rubio
Uh,
gave a speech too. I don't know if it was before or after this one. And you think Rubio is the more centered one. No. No, he mirrors what Miller says. It's not good.
Ice Cube said, I feel institutionalized and I'm out on the street. Fuck.
Hmm.
Trust your instincts. To all people and across all civilizations, you know what normal is. You know what beautiful is. You know what good is. You know that families are right.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Pause?
This is why I'm glad you're here for this part. I knew
Dude,
you I knew you'd react to this part.
you know what good is. You know that families are right. This is insane.
Yeah. This is like authoritarianism 101 happening right here.
And and you could be I think even a conservative, if you are listening to this, you should be pissed because you can believe in the idea of the family, but how I need you to really propose these questions. How in the fuck have any of these people helped the American family in this administration?
100%. 100%.
Where are tax breaks for parents and you're worried and concerned about the fucking population and shit like that? You don't give a fuck about families.
That's
How do
right.
you propose anybody to want to start a family in this country? It's difficult. And the whole point of procreation now in like the modern thought is to have a child to better their life, right? Correct?
Yeah.
We can't fucking do it. We can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't stand you. Like
A little more than half the people like the stream.
no.
No, this is just naked fascism. Like if this doesn't bother you, you're like, oh no, I agree with this. You're fucked. You're fucked, and I don't want you around here. Like if you agree with what Miller is saying, like unsubscribe, leave. I don't want you here.
I don't know how to fucking talk to you cuz also like the idea beauty is objective, right? You could even argue
You mean
good,
subjective?
subjective. What? Fuck it. I'm smoking weed.
The
Subjective
the,
here.
your mic must have cut out the S sound. It sounded like objective. I was like,
No, I
that's not what
definitely
it.
said objective. I definitely said
Okay.
that. Subject. I went to public school. uh, good. You can argue the idea of good. Because what the define good?
Yeah, good is subjective too. There's no objective morality. That doesn't exist. Like in order for something to be objective, you need like a goal, right? Like let's say your goal is to maximize the number of hamburgers you eat in your lifetime, right? Well, then it's objectively good to stop at McDonald's. It's
No,
objectively
true.
bad to eat a salad,
There we
right?
go.
You have a goal, then you can have object. But like without a goal, then it's completely subjective. And then to begin with, the goal itself is subjective. So it's only objective in that context. On the whole, it's still subjective. Because why do you want to eat as many hamburgers as possible? That's stupid. I picked a deliberately stupid example to show how arbitrary this shit is. You know, a more concrete or more agreeable version would be like minimizing human suffering, right? That might take a little bit more thought to arrive at, you know, a mode of operation.
You know what is good.
You know what is good.
Oh my god, you know families that are right. So wait, there's a wrong type of family too? Wait a minute.
Oh, here, let's
You
go back.
know that families are right.
Your instincts to all people and across all civilizations. You know what normal is. You know what beautiful is. You know what good is. You know that families are right. You know that children are precious and beautiful and must be protected. You know that the criminal and the junkie and the predator is a threat.
A junkie.
The criminal, the junkie, and the predator.
That's funny when we're talking about a nation that has a insane opioid crisis, drug problem.
An insane opioid crisis, and many, many pedos in office.
That too.
But also the criminal. That's a very broad.
Criminal.
Like, you got a misdemeanor when you were a teenager? Oh, criminal.
Criminal.
To normal.
I'm doing Eminem's criminal. You can't tell. Criminal.
Healthy living. This is so much deeper than issues about taxation and regulation, although they're incredibly important. It's about normal, healthy, ordered living. And the violent leftists, for these deep-seated reasons, going back to the earliest wisdom taught to us in the Bible about coveting. And I'm not talking about rich versus poor. I'm talking about a much deeper.
Yeah, as a leftist here, if you guys haven't picked up on that, I see someone going to church. I don't give a shit. I'm not jealous of that. I don't care. It's not. It doesn't bother me. Like if I wanted to go to church, I'd just go to a church. Like there's nothing. Why would I be jealous of that? That doesn't make any sense.
This is literally like a hussy tactic in the fucking U.S. fucking government. They're just jealous of
Oh my
They're
god,
just
you're
jealous.
right.
This is disturbing. Why is Girl World leaking into my U.S. politics?
They're just jealous.
They're just jealous. They're jealous of how normal we are, and you're so diffy. You know what? I'm gonna get diffy tattooed on my fucking forehead at this point. Diffy tramp stamp, diffy forehead tat, diffy under eye tattoo. I'm gonna be diffied up.
Yeah, it's diffy. It's diffy time. It's the year of the diffy.
Time. It's the lifetime of a diffy.
Yeah,
you
lifetime
know,
of a diffy.
fucking God, what the fuck? Charlton Heston, when he did the NRA speech, from my cold dead hands. Well, I feel that way about my essence and being. Take that. Try and take that away from me, from my cold dead hands.
Yep. Yeah. What Miller wants is everybody to just be obedient and white. Doesn't want any non-whites because that's the subtext here. And yeah, you can hopefully something prevents this.
Kind of coveting people who are morally superior, who are superior in the simple.
Coveting people who are morally superior.
This is Stephen Miller Princess Leia?
Stephen Miller.
About rich versus poor. I'm talking about a much deeper kind of coveting. Coveting people who are morally superior, who are superior in the simple, truthful way they live their lives. People that they
I'm
look
gonna
at.
BRB, but I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, but you hear this? Morally superior. Like, oh, if you're on our side, you're morally superior. It's just a lot of pretexts to do violence against their political opponents. That's what this comes down to. Leftists hate beautiful babies.
Who are happy and ordered and peaceful and contributing to their communities. That burns an ember in them, and that's how you end up with the horrors we've seen throughout history, where good families are dragged out into the street and executed.
Huh? And that's exactly what you want to do. This is projection. This dude dreams of seeing like immigrant families dragged out into the street by ICE agents and just shot point blank. That's what he wants. That's the future he wants. That's the present he wants.
And you might say, again, you're describing a future that seems impossible to conceive of. When it comes to preventing these horrors, it is the burden and the duty of good people.
I thought he said whores to prevent these horrors.
To prevent horrors. Yeah, now he's I don't know, trying to deputize MAGAs. That's what it seems like here.
Oh my god, you're gonna Jesus Christ. If you say that we've invested in a enforcement bureau, I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna freak the fuck out. Call this number if you hear your neighbor do this.
Right. I mean, we're not far from that.
Life to understand that you will always be accused of raising the alarm too loudly. If you wait until the point where the worst outcome is so obvious that no one can deny it.
What is the worst outcome of the blue-haired pierced people saying, "What? Trump bad"? What is the worst outcome? I'm so they're not having children. What are you worried about?
Ever wondering why? Why are people like this? Why is Stephen Miller like this? Why are fascists like this? The cruelty is the point. The goal is to be cruel, to maximize human suffering. It is a death cult. Once you view it that way, it all makes sense.
What's his right? You are the boogeyman for fucking real.
Already lost the battle. That's the fundamental point. If you say, I will not raise this alarm until the threat is so present and so clear and so obvious and so imminent that none can deny it, it's already too late.
Oh my god, what if gay people are outside? Oh.
We gotta strike before they strike. We gotta be preemptive. This is again warming people up to the idea of just arresting anyone who doesn't agree with Trump.
What if it's too late, you guys? Oh no. What? Okay, also, why didn't we get any examples of this future, this worst case scenario? Because I don't know what it is. What do you mean? Like, what's gonna happen?
Let us vaguely point at like Stalin and Pol Pot and Mao. You know, look. This is what happens if you let blue-haired people live. Like that's really the argument here that's being made. Like it's just connecting A and C with no B. You know what I mean?
Too late. I would rather prevent a threat from occurring and be accused for the rest of my life of having falsely raised the alarm, knowing in myself that I was right, than for fear of being judged having waited too long until the point of no return has been crossed. The good news is that we are far away from the point of no return. So all of us should organize together and work together for the good and the benefit of all the people in our societies, of all walks of life, of all persuasions, to deliver for them what they are justly entitled to, which is to live with safety, with fundamental human dignity, and with the ability to live in peace and harmony with their families and neighbors. Thank you all, and God bless.
That's it.
Huh?
Wild, huh? Let's see, what was the heat of legislation? NSPM, I think it's NSPM 7. Let me dig it up here. NSPM 7. Yeah, here it is, whitehouse.gov. You guys ready for this one? All right.
Oh my
Welcome.
God, get on, go away. Welcome to the golden age. Jesus.
Yeah. Countering domestic terrorism and organized political violence. This came out last year, roughly a little less than a year ago. National Security Presidential Memorandum, NSPM-7, Memorandum for the Secretary of State. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. By the authority vested in me as President of the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, I hereby direct the following. Section 1. Domestic terrorism and organized political violence. Heinous assassinations and other acts of political violence in the United States have dramatically increased in recent years. Even in the aftermath of the horrifying assassination of Charlie Kirk, some individuals who adhered to the alleged shooter's ideology embraced and cheered this evil murder while actively encouraging more political violence. This was preceded by the 2024 assassination of a senior healthcare executive. Yeah, what was his fucking name? And the 2022 assassination of attempted against Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Two separate assassination attempts against my own life in less than 3 months took place during the 2024 presidential election cycle. Riots in Los Angeles, Portland reflect 1,000% increase in attacks of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Yeah, because they're more active. They're more active now than they were. So yeah, that's just stupid. Of course, it's gonna increase. Compared to the same period last year. Just yesterday, a shooting targeting an ICE facility in Dallas resulted in multiple casualties. Separate anti-police and criminal justice riots have left many people dead and injured, and inflicted over $2 billion in property damage. Nathan, that's the important one right here. That's the one that really matters.
A
This
low
political,
number.
yeah, this political violence is not a series of isolated incidents and does not emerge organically. Instead, is a culmination of sophisticated, organized campaigns of targeted intimidation, radicalization, threats, violence designated to silence opposing speech, limit political activity, change and direct policy outcomes, and prevent the functioning of a democratic society. This is just all projection right here. A new law enforcement strategy that investigates all participants in these criminal and terroristic conspiracies, including the organized structures, networks, entities, organizations, funding sources, and predicate actions behind them, is required. So you know how you're talking about having an agency investigate this stuff?
Oh, there we go.
Yep. These campaigns often begin by isolating and dehumanizing specific targets to justify murder and other violent action against them. They do so through a variety of fora, including the anonymous chat rooms, in-person meetings, social media, and even educational institutions. Catch that? Educational institutions.
Damn, you can't even learn.
You guys ready for
No
conservative
learning.
takeover of colleges? Yeah, and then social media, anonymous chat forums. You guys ready for anonymity to vanish on the internet? Because that's happening.
It's been happening.
Yeah. These campaigns then escalate to organized doxing, where the private or identifying information of these targets, such as home addresses, phone numbers, or other personal information, is exposed to the public with the explicit intent of encouraging others to harass, intimidate, and violently assault them. As in the case for several ICE agents in Los Angeles being doxxed, being doxxed. They're police. People should know who they are.
Oh
The
yeah,
goal,
don't you work for the government?
yeah. What is it? Yeah, what does doxing actually mean here? Because,
Who the fuck wrote this? Someone a Gen Z?
right, I think so. Some staffer for Trump. The goal of these campaigns can be to obstruct the operations of the federal government as well as aid and abet criminal activity in the federal government is lawfully and federal government is lawfully pursuing. Yeah. These campaigns are coordinated and perpetrated by actors who have developed a comprehensive strategy to achieve specific policy goals through radicalization and violent intimidation. It's what you do. There are common recurrent motivations and indicia uniting the pattern of violent and terroristic activities under the umbrella of self-described anti-fascism. You know, when a government is going after anti-fascists, that they couldn't possibly be fascist. What is anti-fascism? These movements portray foundational American principles, support for law enforcement and border control, as fascist to justify and encourage violent revolution. This anti-fascist lie has become the organizing rally cry used by domestic terrorists to wage a violent assault against democratic institutions, constitutional rights, fundamental American liberties. Common threads animating this violent conduct include anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, and anti-Christianity. Support for the overthrow of the United States government, extremism on migration, race, and gender, and hostility towards those who hold traditional American views on family, religion, and morality. You guys ready for moral police? You guys ready for a moral police department? Moral police? That's never been tried before. As described in the order of September 22, 2025, designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization. It's not even an organization, so good luck with that. The groups and entities that perpetuate this extremism have created a movement that embraces and elevates violence to achieve policy outcomes, including justifying additional assassinations. For example, Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin engraved the bullets used in the murder with so-called anti-fascist rhetoric. I doubt he actually did that. The FBI likes to drop fake shells with engravings but that's neither here nor there. It doesn't really matter at this point. The United States requires a national strategy to investigate, disrupt networks, entities, and organizations to foment political violence, so that law enforcement can intervene in these criminal conspiracies before they result in violent political attacks. The FBI already does this. So the fact that, as you're saying, this needs to happen, it's like I think it's just going to be pre-crime. They could be guilty of pre-crimes. Through this comprehensive strategy, law enforcement will disband and uproot networks, entities, and organizations that promote organized violence, violent intimidation, conspiracy against rights, and other efforts to disrupt the functioning of a democratic society. Whew. How do you guys feel about that first part? That was section 1.
What?
Section 2. Yeah, if you want a moral police, you move to a Muslim majority country. Exactly. Yeah, atheism makes you some sort of terrorist? Yes. According to this, it does. Investigating domestic terrorist organizations. The National Joint Terrorism Task Force and its local officials, collectively JTTFs, shall coordinate and supervise a comprehensive national strategy to investigate, prosecute, and disrupt entities and individuals engaged in acts of political violence and intimidation designed to suppress lawful political activity and obstruct the rule of law. So you protest ICE, you're this. This strategy shall include the investigatory and prosecutorial measures set forth in this section. The JTTFs shall investigate potential federal crimes relating to acts of recruiting or radicalize persons for the purpose of political violence, terrorism, conspiracy against rights, or the violent deprivation of any citizen's rights. C. The JTTF shall also investigate institutional or individual funders and officials and employees of organizations that are responsible for, sponsor, or otherwise aid and abet principal actors engaging in criminal conduct described in subsections A and B of this section. Okay? So it's going to expand, like, oh, you laughed at a Nazi getting punched in the face, like you're aiding and abetting. Non-governmental organizations and American citizens residing abroad, or those with close ties to foreign governments, agents, citizens, foundations, or influence networks engaged in violations of the Foreign Agents Registration Act, or money laundering by funding, creating, or supporting entities that engage in activities that support or encourage domestic terrorism. B. The JTTFs shall consult and coordinate with executive departments, agencies. Why is agencies in parentheses there as well? Okay. As needed to determine whether such agencies can apply existing authorities or exercise their own authorities as appropriate to support the JTTF's investigations of relevant prosecutions of political violence. The JTTFs may, to the extent permitted by law, request operational assistance from and coordinate with law enforcement partners when investigating domestic terrorism. F. The National Joint Terrorism Task Force shall provide regular progress updates to the President through the Assistant to the President and Homeland Security Advisor. The Attorneys General shall direct the Department of Justice to prosecute all federal crimes to the maximum extent permissible by law related to the investigations described by subsections A through C of this section. The Attorneys General shall issue specific guidance that ensures domestic terrorism priorities include politically motivated terrorist acts such as organized doxing campaigns. So, hey, you ever share the address of a Supreme Court justice? Guess what? You're a terrorist. Swatting, rioting, looting, trespassing, assault, destruction of property, threats of violence, and civil disorder. This guidance shall also include an identification of behaviors, fact patterns, recurrent motivations, and other indicia common to organizations and entities that coordinate these acts in order to direct efforts to identify and prevent potential violent activity. Okay, pre-crime. The Secretary of the Treasury, in coordination with Attorneys General, shall make available all resources to maximal extent permitted by law to identify and disrupt financial networks that fund domestic terrorism and political violence. The Secretary, acting through the Terrorism and Financial Intelligence Office of the Department of the Treasury, shall deploy investigative tools, examine financial flows, and coordinate with partner agencies to trace illicit funding streams. The Secretary shall provide guidance for financial institutions to file suspicious activity reports and investigate indicia of illicit funding streams to ensure such activity is rooted out at the source and referred to law enforcement action as appropriate. The Commissioner of the Internal Revenue Service shall take action to ensure no tax-exempt entities are directly or indirectly financing political violence or domestic terrorism. In addition, where applicable, the Commissioner shall ensure that the Internal Revenue Service refers such organizations and the employees and officers of such organizations to the Department of Justice for investigation and possible prosecution. Yeah. All right. K. All federal law enforcement agencies with investigative authority shall question and interrogate within all lawful authorities individuals engaged in political violence or lawlessness regarding the entity or individual organizing such actions and any related financial sponsorship of those actions prior to the adjudication or initiation of a plea agreement. Investigations should prioritize crimes such as the following: assaulting federal officers or employees or otherwise engaging in conduct prescribed by 18 USC SC 111. Conspiracy against rights under 18 USC 241. Conspiracy to commit offense under 18 USC 371. Solicitation to commit a crime of violence under 18 USC 373. Money laundering. I'm going to stop reading the numbers. Funding of terrorist acts and otherwise facilitating terrorism under blah, blah, blah. Arson offenses under blah, blah, blah. Violations of racketeer influence or corrupt organizations, and major fraud against the United States under blah, blah, blah. All federal law enforcement agencies will with investigative authority shall adopt strategies similar to those under those used to address violent crime and organized crime to disrupt, dismantle entire networks of criminal activity. All right, we're almost done here. So section 3, this one's short. In the course of and as the result of investigations directed by Section 2 of this memorandum, the Attorneys General may recommend that any group or entity whose members are engaged in activities meeting the definition of domestic terrorism merits designation as a domestic terrorist organization. The Attorney General shall submit a list of such groups or entities to the President through the Assistant to the President and Homeland Security Advisor. You guys ready for that one? Domestic terrorism as a national priority area. The Attorneys General and the Secretary of Homeland Security shall designate domestic terrorism as a national priority area and develop appropriate grant programs to allocate funding for law enforcement partners to detect, prevent, and protect against threats arising from this area. This one's particularly interesting. This is where you're going to get your moral police. General provisions. Nothing in this memorandum shall be construed to impair or otherwise affect the authority granted by law to an executive department or agency or head thereof. The functions of the Director of the Office of Management and Budget relating to budgetary, administrative, or legislative protocols. This memorandum shall be implemented consistent with applicable law and subject to availability of appropriations. This memorandum is not intended to and does not create any right or benefit, substantive or procedural, enforceable at law or in equity by any party against the United States, its departments, agencies, entities, its officials, employees, or agents, or any other person. The Secretary of Homeland Security is authorized and directed to publish this memorandum in the Federal Register. Donald J. Trump. That's it.
I'm screaming.
I'll put this in the chat if you guys want to read it. Read on your own.
But like, okay, the part that I'm not understanding is like, I don't know. All of it. All of it. Help us.
Help.
Help.
I hire Azria, Unicorn Girl, and Hussy to be on the moral police.
Holy fuck.
You know, people like them would be the ones that would want to do that type of job.
We're done.
Like, who wants to be a morality cop? Someone unhinged. Only someone unhinged. Talk about normal people. Normal people don't want to do that. What's up, Keldosh? How you doing? You want to come on up?
Do you want to listen? I think he's gonna prep. I don't know, for his stream.
Oh, okay.
I don't know though. Or he just woke up. What's the other guy? Who's the
Rubi-
other guy?
Rubio. Gotta close this one. And we probably won't get to that. Let's see.
Okay, again,
Thank you
hear
all.
me out.
Thank you all for
Everybody
joining us
in
here
the
today. I'm very
chat
honored that this distinguished group.
Sorry.
and you two wafters. I think our nation is being run by too many men. Okay. So I think we should get hot bimbo women. This, I think, would get varying forms of opinions of varying different bimbos, but I think our nation would be headed in the right direction if bimbo women were it.
I'll take it over this. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, literally anything else. My bimbo world domination dream coming more and more true.
You got fire bat stuff. That's
Ooh.
DEI. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. DEI.
How is
Love it or
Damn
leave
it.
it. DEI.
I'll run
Rather
for
that than
president.
this.
Yes, Cal.
Yes, I'd vote for you.
There is a lot of Republican women. I don't, but they're not bimbo-y enough. Like, I feel like, just subject them to patriarchy more, where our beauty standards get like mega warped and they have to wear like skimpy outfits and shit. And they're like, hello, everyone. I am representing Alabama. And they have to be at least 6'5". Yes, Amazonian women at that. Bimbo, Amazonian, brain-headed women. Think about it.
There you go.
And one that looks like a librarian. She's like a scientist type. She's like the nerdy type.
My mouth is dry as fuck after reading that whole thing, so I gotta go grab a drink. Give me 1 minute.
What do you guys think of my political plan? Oh my god, Tubian, yes. Keldosh has been covering Firebat. Firebat even titled one of their streams about Keldosh and really didn't mention shit about him.
Oh, okay, I'm back. Did you hear me like slam into some wood shit on my way out?
No.
Okay, good.
I'm
It was
in.
loud.
Dimension
It was
Dave's
loud.
into my hot bimbo government.
Not bimbo party. The HB party.
Like, I don't know, like, cause like, that's why Mel Brooks's comedy is so funny. Cause he points out how hilarious fascism is. Well, let's just go full absurdist and hot bimbos make full sense. We almost got a bimbo vice president once. I know. We're being denied. Our nation, fuck it. Our nation is being deprived of bimbos here.
You talking about
We have
Palin?
to listen.
Sarah Palin? It's a name.
I think
That's a name we haven't heard in a while. Remember when that was the worst thing? Remember when that was the worst thing?
She's so
Crazy.
stupid. No, we should have got her ass in there. Fuck.
Man. Remember Michelle
Like, okay,
Bachmann?
imagine Hillary Clinton, but she was a bimbo. Like, she got like big ass lashes, long nails. I don't know. I feel like, because like old school Hillary Clinton, like young Hillary Clinton, she was given cunt. Okay, she was given. I see why Bill turned his eye. Okay, but she like, I don't know. Maybe we need the same doctor that is fixing Madonna somehow and making her into a creature nightmare thing, and do that to Hillary Clinton. And I think I like bimbo Hillary Clinton.
They could run her again.
Run her again, but as a bimbo, she needs like young Gen Z, Gen Alpha training, but not like let Pokemon go to the polls. Like I want her to know all the lingo. Are you Republican or Democrat? Neither. I'm a hot bimbo.
There you go. Republicans are red, Democrats are blue. What color would we have?
Hot pink, duh. Oh my
Okay.
god.
Look, I don't know. That's why
You
I
don't
ask you.
know. You need the bimbo expert.
All right. Hot pink it is. Let me get a hot pink flag, and people will be like, "What is that for?" I'll be like, "The bimbo party." What are you dumb?
Duh, you've never and it like God, dude, the ideas are going crazy. Okay, I'd rather run this political party.
Yeah. And you know what? The US doesn't really have a left party. People are like, "Oh, these leftists are out of control, blah blah blah." Democrats are barely left wing as a whole. Like there's a couple that are left wing like in office and stuff, but like the party they operate like functionally as just controlling the power that the left could otherwise have. Like, if somebody is too left wing, they don't give them the time of the day. They don't let them
See,
into the party. They don't
that's why it's a majority women run party, right? Because
yeah.
then if we look back again in history, women haven't been taken seriously in politics. Now, and then Spaghetti Model is bringing up a great point, but sex sells, exactly. But these women are reclaiming their sexuality by bimboifying themselves and to
Whoever
also radically run for office, you see.
whoever we run for president, they have to legally change their name to Tits McGee. Imagine seeing Tits McGee on the ballot. You check that box in a
Dude,
minute.
and then and then also just like imagine like hearing like a woman with fucking high heel clip clop up to the stage and she just has really nothing to say and she just goes like I'd rather hear that. Honestly, a hot bimbo lady could tell me the most authoritarian thing in my life and I'd be like, I get it. You know what? She's right.
Oh
I
man.
understand. Cause like they pick. I'm sorry, men are horrible. They just are, ugh. Have you seen them? Have you? Uh, you could soften the blow of anything if it was a lady in a bikini going like, "And we're gonna have to nuke the world." I'd be like, oh, "She's got a point. Hear her out, guys."
Giving them ideas. They're gonna
Let's
do
flip the
that.
stripper poles and OnlyFans to build it. Yes, to build a political empire. No one would take it seriously, but it would be like an underground grassroots, and then we just take over the whole government
No,
system.
here's the
I feel
thing.
like
People never take fascists seriously until it's a problem, and here we are. So yeah, but they're not going to take it seriously. It's not actually not a good argument against something. Yeah, make it a
okay.
joke. Maybe you could, yeah, take over the government just being goofy.
See, because you guys are thinking like, oh, Bimbo has to be stupid, but no. What if it's brilliant and it changes the whole world?
Yeah, I mean, you know what, I'm down for this. It's so out of left field that yeah, let's try it. Tits McGee, she's got my vote. Exactly. Exactly. Everyone would want to vote for Tits McGee. Especially people that don't pay attention to shit, which is like most people. They'd be like, "Oh, there's someone running named Tits McGee?
I
I
fucking
wonder if
love
that."
that.
Yeah.
Then when you Google her, she's the most like beautiful woman you've ever seen in your life. You're like, oh my god. That's all I'm saying. I don't know.
We would pull in all the incels who are lonely and looking to a racist organization. I don't know if we pull in the incels.
No, I feel like the incels would be pissed.
Oh yeah, they would. They'd be like, an attractive woman, gonna be in the government telling me what to do. I hate that.
You have to be a real woman enjoyer to want the bimbos to control the world, okay?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for anything at this point, other than this boot-looking piece of shit right here.
Yeah, because, okay, yeah, like I said, imagine this is like a hot lady, and I feel like the news is like way. Like, they can't even get a hot guy to do this or anything. Like, I feel like if you're gonna break, like, authoritarian news, like, can we get, like, a look maxer? Can Clavicular come out and tell us?
Clavicular.
I feel like it would fucking break. It would be like, oh, it's soften the blow. You'd be like, oh, okay, well. I mean, if Clavicular's saying it, I don't know.
Yeah, it must be a good idea if the guy that smashes his face with a hammer is endorsing it.
I mean, look how good he looks. Duh.
Has anyone actually seen him smash his face with a hammer? I think that's a put on. I don't think he actually does that. Like
Somebody in chat said Greg. Yeah, imagine Greg is breaking you this news. I feel like I'd be like, oh, well, it is coming from Greg.
Is
See, this is not bimbo-y enough. This is, she needs lashes. Her roots need touched up. The outfit needs changed. Cause she looks like she could pull off like a posh bimbo. She's just not.
with a little work, you make that more hot pink that she's wearing.
Yeah. And imagine, ooh, hear me out, Juicy Couture. Would you want to make all the outfits for our political party? It'll be like Hugo Boss, but Juicy Couture. For all my bimbo ladies.
Bimbos.
Needs more boobs, exactly. More boobs, more ass, bigger lips. You gotta go under the knife, honey.
The bimbo party. That's what I'm calling the stream. Let's see what Lil Rubio has to say.
Really quick. Okay, guys, you gotta look up, they're called the Cock Destroyers. They did adult films, but they also did funny haha Twitter things. Those would be the women I would want. They're not American though. They would need to be American women. But those women would be the women I would want in the bimbo party. Oh fuck, it's a Sunday. It's Monday, but
Thank you all. Thank you all for joining us here today. I'm very honored that this distinguished group of people that have traveled from around the world to be a part of this important conversation. We're grateful to you. I also want to thank members of the President's team and cabinet that are here today. Our FBI Director, Kash Patel, who's here with us. Thank you. Our Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, has joined us as well. You'll hear shortly from Stephen Miller, the President's Deputy Chief of Staff and one of his top advisors on Homeland Security issues as well. And of course, our Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent, is here. But again, I want to thank.
Okay, so this preceded Stephen Miller. This is before.
All of you that are here today. I want to thank the whole team here at the State Department as well for putting this together.
This guy looks like an android.
It truly is an unprecedented event.
He is.
On an unprecedented issue, moment, I should say, in our history. So let me start by saying that the most essential duty of the state, the first responsibility, frankly, of any government of any kind, is the protection of its people. It's the protection of its country. This is a sacred obligation that should transcend all political and all ideological divisions. It is why, for example, we have militaries. It's why we have intelligence agencies. It's why counterterrorism bureaus exist, why police forces exist. Keeping our people safe is the reason why every country represented here has all of these things. We are all very well acquainted, as of now, of course, by now, with what has been described as traditional.
Somebody throw a tomato. Oh, that'd probably be terroristic. Never mind.
Terrorist threats.
You've
For
given me the
25 years,
plague.
the term counterterrorism, at least in the West, has meant first and foremost the fight against radical Islamist extremism. And there's a very poignant reason for
Counterterrorism
that.
mean in the East?
On the 11th of September, in the year of 2001,
Yeah, it's a good question.
Oh God, not 9/11.
Oh yeah, he brings up 9/11
Oh
as if we
my.
don't already fucking know.
Hey,
19
buddy,
men
I hate to say it.
murdered.
The company that you're working for is the government. I think they might have a little bit of dealings with that whole 9/11 business.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
3,000 people here in my country. Then that same enemy struck Europe, murdering nearly 200 commuters aboard trains in Madrid in 2004 and 52 more aboard London buses and the underground in the following year. The entire architecture of Western counterterrorism was rebuilt from the studs around the singular traumatic event. That made sense at the time. Our job was to keep our people safe, and the realm of terrorism, the specter of global jihad, was the premier threat to their safety. And so we went to work, and we assembled a global coalition, working with many of the friends that are represented here in this room today, and we destroyed the ISIS caliphate, we killed al-Baghdadi and al-Zawahiri and bin Laden, and we built intelligence and law enforcement systems capable of anticipating and stopping attacks before the public even hears about them. Every country represented here today has disrupted a terrorist threat at some point emanating from this source. Jihadist attacks and plots in the United States are down by 2/3 since ISIS's peak. The number of people killed by jihadist terrorism in Europe dropped by roughly 97% from the year 2015 to the year 2024. In other words, to a very great extent, our counterterrorism strategy has worked. The threat has not disappeared, of course. It will continue to exist, particularly so long as we tolerate immigration systems that imports these threats directly into our respective homelands. But this threat has been severely diminished. The world looks very different today because of it. For far too long, however, our counterterrorism doctrine has had a blind spot when it comes to extremist violence from the political left. Even today, the very idea that far-left terrorism could be a serious threat is treated as a right-wing fever dream, or worse, as a dangerous fascist conspiracy. It's treated this way by many.
We're doing preempting the arguments. They're like, oh, you might hear people say this, but there's no actual argument against it. It's like, people might say this.
But don't believe them. Just take
Yeah,
my
yeah.
word for it.
Yeah.
In the press, by many in academia and our universities, and by many of our legacy institutions. You will no doubt see the dogma rear its head in the coverage of this very conference. In spite of the clear and the undeniable reality, in spite of the objective numbers and statistics, in spite of the fact that in this room today, there are representatives from across the political spectrum, we will hear this kind of organized violence and terror will be dismissed. It will be dismissed as a partisan fiction. A whole industry grew up in our countries around the study of extremism. We have think tanks and fellowships and journals and consultancies with the unspoken understanding among them that the only kind of political violence that was a true threat to our system, that only one kind of political violence was a true threat to the system. A bomb planted by a neo-Nazi group was a nefarious and murderous act of evil. It is. But a bomb planted by a Marxist revolutionary, well, that's just merely a tragic excess of idealism.
Where?
Who says that?
Yeah, who's saying that? Who's saying that? Some random communist kid, like on a college campus? Like that? Nobody serious is saying that. Like, people recognize, like, oh yeah, planting explosive devices. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
Point to the last self-claimed Marxist that planted a bomb that is at the level that the fucking it happened in Oklahoma, right? The Oklahoma City bombings,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that killed thousands of people, didn't it, or
Yeah.
hundreds?
Yeah.
It
And he
killed a
was
lot of people.
Timothy McVeigh was right wing. He was right wing, and if you disagree, you're wrong. He was right wing. So was Ted Kaczynski. Like, and you're like, oh, that's a long time ago. Well, point to one that's happened now.
I'm looking up Marxist bombing.
Yes, please. And like, if you can send me some shit that shows that I'm wrong, I'll change my mind. That's how this works.
Perhaps it
1983, the bombing of the U.S. Capitol.
All right. So
Uh,
the Oklahoma City bombing is more recent than that. I think that happened in 1994.
1983. On the night of November 7th, 1983, just moments after a phone warning was received, a bomb detonated on the second floor of the North Senate wing of the Capitol.
Oh no, I'm talking about the Oklahoma City bombing.
Uh,
I believe that happened in 1994. But yeah.
1995. April
Okay.
19th, 1995. Day
Okay.
before Hitler's birthday.
Interesting. But yeah, no, it was a reaction to Waco.
Perhaps its means were misplaced or overzealous, but its ends
The meat
were
was
virtuous
misplaced.
and just. That's the implication of how they treat it. For years, this
Who's they? Who's they? What are you talking about? You'd be hard pressed to find someone being like, "Oh yeah, I agree with that communist bombing in 1983." Who? Who? Name names.
extraordinary ideological prejudice was embedded in the way we talked about political violence and extremism. It was repeated again and again until it was accepted as the neutral and objective baseline, so entrenched in the mainstream conventional wisdom that it came to be regarded as an apolitical fact.
No, you're just wrong. You're just wrong.
So they are considering the murder of Aaron Danielson as a far left related murder, and then Charlie Kirk. That's it. And most recent.
All right.
That's
Okay.
it. In America.
Yeah. Like, okay. Singular people getting murked. Okay. Who's the first person? I don't recognize that name. Eh,
Aaron Danielson is an American supporter of the far-right group Patriot Prayer. He was shot and killed, allegedly, by a far-left activist after participating in a caravan which drove through Portland, Oregon, displaying banners and signs supporting President Donald Trump.
Hmm.
And it was added to the Center for Strategic and International Studies terrorism database as a deadly far left attack. And it was the first incident in over 2 decades. So 2020. And then the next marked is the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
However, even Wikipedia says, however, studies show that well over half of political violence over recent decades has been caused by right-wing perpetrators, followed by Islamic extremists, followed by left-wing actors.
Here's something right wingers aren't ready for. Islamic terrorism is also right wing. It's just a different flavor.
Yeah.
It's also right wing.
From 2022 through 2024, all 61 political killings were committed by right-wing extremists.
There you go. Yeah, but they'll argue with facts. So what can you do?
It is the reason why, here in my country, so many people in positions of power have repeatedly dismissed acts of violence and even terrorism as legitimate forms of political expression, so long as they served a left-wing cause.
Who? Where? Who? Name names. Name names. And events. Name the events. What?
Yeah, why
What was
can't you say Aaron Danielson's name? The
It is
victim
why-
of this terroristic act that you're claiming is a terroristic killing.
Yeah, name names.
During those so-called George Floyd riots in the summer of 2020, as criminals and extremists burned and looted their way through America's great cities.
I'll say it again in case there's new people here. What I saw when all that was going down, the people burning stuff or breaking shit were police. Or it was
Also,
people that were not with the rest of the group. Like they were like agitators, like unknowns coming in to disrupt the otherwise organized peaceful protest.
also, in my humblest opinion, rioting and stuff like that is fixable. I don't what did the city collapse underneath these fucking we had protests where the city was shut down, right?
Yeah.
There are no businesses in my area downtown that closed down because of that directly, right? So I would need to see hard evidence that these riots destroyed my livelihood. I'm sorry, Walmart, Walgreens, AutoZone, they can financially recover and they will, and they won't close down.
Yeah, big book.
Oh
Also,
no, one less
I
Walmart.
argue that property damage is not on the same footing as harming people.
Yeah,
I argue that it's not even violence. It's property damage. It's
it's
not the same.
fixable.
Yeah.
A window can be replaced.
Yeah, window can be replaced. A life cannot. So it's not on the same footing. It's a different thing.
And nearly brought the country to its knees, city governments all across the country simply refused to prosecute the people conducting these acts of violence and terror. It is the reason.
Yeah, because they're all fucking cop. Stupid.
For the now infamous image, maybe you all recall this, of a news anchor from a very prominent.
We were all there. We were all there during these times. You just stayed inside if you didn't want to get involved. What the fuck? And then it was over. And then it was back to business as usual. Everything was fine.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that was like, oh my God, I've been when we bring up 9/11, the whole country was shaken. I don't think that the George Floyd protests invoke the same amount of mass trauma that everybody witnessed.
No.
The coalition in this room today includes political leaders and experts and law enforcement officials from more than 60 countries across the world. You have come here from a wide range of governments, parties, and political persuasions. Some of your governments and ours disagree publicly. Sometimes we disagree sharply about trade, about energy, about immigration. You did not come here today because you have been persuaded on every single aspect of the American view of the world. You came here. You are here because 2 weeks ago, a 72-year-old woman was burned on over 80% of her body in her own home in Greece, and she died, executed by a firebomb because her daughter dared to stand for office. You are here today because for 5 days this winter,
What does that have to do with leftism in the United States?
Yeah.
That's a problem in Greece.
The fuck does that have to do with American politics? What American gives a fuck about Greece? I'm sorry, Greek people. But like Greek salad?
Greek salad. Yeah, exactly. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do without your feta cheese?
the lights went out in Berlin, the longest blackout in the city since the Second World War, sparked by an attack that left tens of thousands of households without power in the freezing cold and left an 83-year-old woman dead. You are here and you came.
Oh no, not an old lady. No.
Oh wow!
A person that lived an entire lifetime. No, please.
This is pathetic. This is absolutely pathetic. But yeah, if you guys want to watch the rest of this, we can cover the rest of this on the WAFcast later tonight too. But I do have to
Are we
wrap up.
doing one later tonight or tomorrow? Could we do tomorrow?
Yeah, we can do tomorrow. Yeah, it works.
Okay.
Either way.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can cover the rest of this then.
Tomorrow.
But yeah, I want to thank Brittany for coming up.
It's been real. Hope you like my political, just me going.
Yeah. Getting warmed
Oh
up
my
for tomorrow.
God.
Getting warmed up for tomorrow.
Oh shit. Oh yeah. Oh, how are we gonna? God damn it. Ugh. Maybe WAFcast tonight. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, we'll think. Let's think about it for maybe like an hour or two, and then we'll decide.
All right.
And then, but yeah, so stay tuned. We'll either go live later again or whatever. But I got to do some real life stuff.
Go do real life.
And thank you guys for coming. And we'll see you either tonight or tomorrow. And always.
Bye.